go for round two. He's going to go for the knock. Goes for the roll now. And he's spotted CVL. Looks for the clip, but he's not going to be able to get it. Jumps out instead, but goes down.
Forward, trying to get a better position, using the Smoker's advantage. Drives straight in.
Out instead, but goes down. Now it's Jump Portal alive. Poor Soul in a 1v1, but he cannot do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers and non-gamers, welcome to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2020. This is PC Peasants Gaming, aka Roheen, and I've got Crips right here with me. It's going to be an amazing set of games we have planned for you today. And we do have K18 and Krat on screen, but don't confuse us with them. This is the English desk. What's up, Crips?
Hello, thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's always good to hear your voice and see these two young gentlemen, K18 and Krat, on the screen. Obviously, they are going to be hosting the Hindi desk, so you can't hear them, but we're going to pretend to voice over them and...
yeah, yeah, let's do that. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing game. We've got a lot of awesome teams participating today, and let's look at the points distribution. We've got placement points 20, 14, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and of course from 11th place onwards it's 1 point per placement, and of course 1 kill equals 1 point, so hopefully we can get some decent frags out there, right, Crips?
Definitely. More than that, you have to choose between getting high placements or getting higher number of kills. You have to choose whether you play passively or more aggressively, or you can just have a balance of both and then top the whole system. Come out with flying colors, Rohin.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see all the teams place over the next couple of matches, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to go down. Okay, now we have the teams on the screen right now. Crips, I'll let you take this.
So, one of the first few names that we recognize on these bunch of rosters is Orange Rock, 7Cs Esports, and ORB Elites. If you guys have been following the PUBG scene, these three teams have been present in the top tier circuit and are now going to be playing in this group stage so that they can go ahead and join the other elite teams in this next stage of the qualifiers. There's going to be 32 teams split up across 4 different groups. In Group A, we have Orange Rock, Marcos, JSLX, AIMGAMING, TeamELVES, 7Cs Esports, ORB Elites, and CELTZ. Now, if you guys have been following the scene, we remember casting 7Cs, ORB Elites, and Orange Rock a few months ago in Famas. Me and Roheen were casting that tournament as well. And over there, Orange Rock, they performed quite well. 7Cs also, they stepped up massively. Let's see if they can step up again in Group A of PMCO Spring Split.
Let's not forget Marcos Gaming was also there at PMAS under a different name, 0 Degree, and now they are going with their parent name, Marcos Gaming. So yep, we have Orange Rock, Marcos, 7Cs, and ORB Elites from the PMAS stage, and of course all these new teams, and I can't wait to see the action. I believe it's pronounced CELTZ. I mean,
CELTZ?
No, CELTZ, Celtic, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I'm most likely right.
let's go with CELTZ then.
Yes, let's just go with CELTZ for the rest of the stream, and maybe the fans in the audience can correct us later. So yeah, we've got 8 teams on this screen in Group A, and hopefully we'll get to see Group B in just a bit.
Yeah, but for now, we have these two beautiful gentlemen on our screens who are going to be discussing how this tournament works out. So, I'm just going to go ahead and explain the format a bit. Out of the 32 teams that play in the group stages, only 24 will make it ahead to the semi-final stage, which means 8 of the teams will be biting the dust and their journey in PMCO Spring Split will come to an end. Roheen.
Yeah, I mean, you win some and you lose some, so it's all about playing consistently and making sure that you have the points And it's going to be the teams that understand placement, understand playing the circle right, who are going to be on top. And yes, and we're back to the squad roster page right here. Let's talk about Orange Rock's performance in PMAS. Oh, no, we'll go to squad roster Group B then. We've got Team Insane, UMEXRXN Esports, RIP Squad, Team Tamilas, and a big shout out to them. Oh no. I guess it's going a little bit fast for us, but here we go. We've got Group C as well. So we've got quite a few names here. Fnatic Group D. I'm sure everybody's going to be shouting out for Fnatic in the chat. Let's not forget Godlike Cronton's team as well. Another team that we saw at PMAS. What are your thoughts, Crips?
Well, I'm really excited to see Fnatic in particular. I had the pleasure of visiting their boot camp a few days ago, and I'm gonna be honest, it looks really, really good. Obviously, Fnatic is the team that won from us a few months ago, so they are coming in hot and look kind of like the favorites in this entire series. Speaking of schedules, there's gonna be 4 games today, spread out evenly across all the 4 lovely maps that PUBG Mobile has to offer. Erangel's gonna be map 1, then Sanhok, the forest map, Miramar across the hot and scorching deserts, and then we're gonna see some cold-blooded murders on the snow map, Vikendi.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Sanhok as always, because Sanhok is the map where you get to see the most amount of blood. And it's always good to start with Erangel, don't you think? Erangel is just the safe map that everybody can warm their fingers on and get ready for the bloodbath that is to follow in Sanhok, Miramar, and of course, Vikendi, Crips.
Yes, Erangel, the perfect starting point for a perfect tournament like this. To be honest, I just hope to see that the teams have, adopted new strategies or tried something new since the last time we saw them. PMCO is the elite tournament in all the tournaments that take place for this game. We have plenty of other ones as well, like PMAS, talking about India series and everything, but this has the chance to take you to the global stage. So you don't just have the glory of being the best Indian team at stake, you have the chance to represent your country internationally as well. Obviously, while we are watching the Indian qualifiers right now, there is South Asian qualifiers also running side by side, so check out that stream as well if you're in the mood to do so. But for now, map number 1 goes live. The plane going diagonally across the map, starting out in SuperGirls all the way down to Ferry Pier. It's pretty even Stevens map. You can access pretty much every other city in the map if you want so. But we are familiar with a few teams being a bit too comfortable with a few cities, so let's see if they continue landing in those same spots that we're used to seeing them as. Rohin.
Yeah, I agree. This is a pretty decent map drop, and we have the plane sort of bisecting the entire map into 2 different halves. And this is going to give a lot of teams an opportunity to drop at their favorite spots, loot up, and then play the circle pretty evenly. And there we go. We already have Team ORB dropping off near Stalbo. We've got 7Cs. We're going towards Severny. And let's see where the rest of them go. It's going to be a pretty even spread right there. And yeah, let's just see how this works out for them.
Well, I'm actually excited to see if any of the teams go ahead and take their positions towards the southern edges of Military Base and Novo. The plane doesn't really favor that southern island, but if you do get control of the bridges and are able to transition safely into that area, you pretty much have yourself a big open ground where nobody really can test you. Speaking of big open grounds, Ripscott is one of the first teams that's heading towards Military Base, and the circle seems definitely in their favor.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I wouldn't say definitely. It's a little bit early to say.
A bit early to say that.
But it is a southwest circle, and hopefully, let's see if this does work out for Rip, and if Rip can get some decent loot at Military Base, then what you said will hold good for them in the coming minutes.
We did see that the first few teams to drop out of the plane, ORB on Salba and 7Cs on Severny, they're gonna have to quickly loot up and make their way back in this circle. Team Insane and team number 8, can't really see the name. Okay, that's AIMGAMING. Both of them are currently in a race to get towards George Bull. obviously the team that does get there first is going to have an insane amount of advantage. Meanwhile, we have JSL, who have completely taken over Pochinki. Orange Rock in the Watertown, where they are pretty much uncontested. So we probably won't be seeing a lot of early game fights, but once these teams do get comfortable and once the circle starts shrinking, then the northern edges will be in contention. George Pool teams, Stalbert, they all have to move out, and the only place where they do have to crash is Roselock School, which I think are going to be really highly contested territories.
Right. I agree with you there, and it's always in PMCO and the pro matches that we don't really see too many early game fights. Every team sort of has their set drop location, and there seems to be like some sort of an unsaid understanding between teams that, hey, we're gonna drop here, please don't bother us. So the fun actually begins when the rotations start and all these teams start crossing each other, their paths cross each other, and then we start to see the beautiful rotation fights and the skirmishes to the safe zone. We're right now spectating Team 6, which is 0 Degree, and we are back to Orange Rock. 0 Degree and Orange Rock are, of course, PMAS teams, and they're used to the pressure of performing online and even on LANs, and so they're teams that can definitely take the amount of stress that pro players take when they play in a tournament format.
Yeah, Orange Rock, one of the best teams in the country. I'm gonna say one of them because we have bigger and better names as well. Daljit, Mavi, some of the finest players in the country. Team Insane as well. They boast some insane amount of firepower, quite living up to their name. And since all of these teams have not been disturbed, we will see them fight each other later on with all the best loot in the game. Rib Squad having the entirety of the military bases themselves, that's gotta be a luxury that not a lot of people can afford.
I agree. Rib Squad is going to be in a very good position, hopefully loot-wise. And meanwhile, speaking of loot, what is Team 8, which is AIMGAMING, what are they doing exactly? Because they don't seem to have weapons, and they don't seem to have clothes either.
Yeah, definitely did not. They were making a risky naked run across the river, and that they do have control of not George Pool, but the circle isn't really in their favor. So they're gonna loot up, quickly get to the edges of not George Pool, hopefully where...
Alright, so let's do a little quick summary of what's happening here. We've got 7 Cs in Severny, we've got Orb around Stalbert, we've got Team 9, that is TeamELVES, dangerously close to Yasnia with Team 19, full power. Then overall, Georgepur looks a little crowded where we have so many teams. We've got TeamELVES, Team Initiative, and Team 13, which would be Team Insane at the, they're on the screen right there. At the containers. Yeah, it's a pretty busy map, and everybody's just sort of comfortably looting each and every space, and they don't really have to worry about fighting right now. Okay, we've got Team 5 on the screen right now. Orange Rock, what are they doing? Setting up centrally.
Definitely, and this seems to be a very bold playstyle. They might just run into team number 14 right there. That is going to be Umumba, and we have Road Wars on our hands. Cars versus cars as players spot each other out. They will choose this compound and make it their battleground. Team 5 have taken aggressive positions and they are spreading across evenly, but Team 14 is kind of in trouble because I don't think they want to take these fights. If they manage to catch one of these players, that's going to be a definite kill.
That's a knock. That's a beautiful knock from Daljit SK, one of the better players in the Indian subcontinent, and what a beautiful move knock there. He throws a nade. Anto, he does not want to let Destro get rezzed up. Bhishma needs to figure out what to do here, and I'm not really sure what Umumba's strategy is here with X-Kiki OP chilling on the hills right there.
Yeah, this is problematic. Bhishma tried to revive Destro, but he will be burned by the Molotovs. And now Bhishma has to awkwardly get into one of these cars and get away from Orange Rock, where his teammates are there, because they are not anywhere close to backing him up.
Well, we did see some shots fire, and it looks like Anto got a little tagged right there in that skirmish. So it's not like Bhishma is completely cut off, but he would be looking for a quick exfil right there. He's in the cover of smoke, and if he doesn't get out quick... and the smoke is gone.
And it's the early game. It's not like he's going to have a lot of utility. Barely any nades. Does have 3 first aid kits, so I guess he can survive a bit, but no cover whatsoever. Even the cars, they are pretty peppered down, so the cars are gonna get blown up really soon, even just by a couple of bullets. He has no exit strategy over here as well.
Speaking of the cars are on fire as Daljit with his beautiful molly, letting Bhishma know that, hey, you know, we're not going to let you walk out of this fight. This looks like a fight that UMEXRXN is going to have to commit to, because Daljit, with his Kar 98 and his superior sniper skills, is going to make sure that they do not push from the hills. Shots are being fired.
Speaking of pushing from the hills, UMEXRXN are trying to cover their teammates from far away, hoping that their sniper shots would be sufficient enough to lay down covering fire for Bhishma. But this is a very awkward engagement, close and far range. It seems like UMEXRXN will be one of the first teams to either bite the dust completely or lose a lot of players, which will be problematic. Surprisingly, this card looks not that banged up. He might just be able to get away with it.
I mean, we never know. I mean, we'll have to look at the health of the car right there. But Bhishma, unfortunately, if he's going to get into that car, is definitely going to get sprayed down here. I mean, if I was Goldblade, I'd just leave him there, you know. I'd just leave my teammate there, because this is a tough fight. Hey, man, like, you know, this is PUBG, and, you know, things happen. Nades are being thrown. It looks like Bhishma is ready for a fight.
Yeah, but I think there's more trouble headed their way, because if you look at the minimap, Team Insane is dangerously close to this very compound. Luckily, this compound is still in the play zone as well, so a lot of teams will be looking to get that edge position.
We got an AWM in the water as well. I like how our observers are letting us know that, hey, it's going to get a little bit more interesting. And it looks like Team Insane snuck up on UMEXRXN, and now UMEXRXN is in a perfect sandwich between two very good teams. This is not looking good for them. Goldblade is knocked. He's down. Tempest with the beautiful... Kobe. I went there. And Goldblade is down. He needs to get healed quickly. It's up to Kiki now.
Insane also lost one of their players. Naruto hit the down, so that's a good enough trade. But AIM, what did Zeus just kill himself somehow? Somewhere on the different part of the map, AIMGAMING is taking losses without any enemies in sight. Meanwhile, Insane are desperately trying to get into this fight. They have revived Naruto, and UMEXRXN is finally falling away. So they are in a little bit of a safe spot for now. But what happened to Bhishma? That's the question that I need the answers for. Insane still looking for UMEXRXN, they're not there. Are they going to crash into the compound of their previous opponents, or are they just going to get out of there and leave Bhishma for the gods to take care of?
As I said before, it was probably a good idea for Bhishma to get out of there as soon as possible. But it looks like Bhishma and Kiki sort of made it out alive, but their teammate unfortunately did bite the dust because he was sandwiched. So Team Insane taking control of all the vehicles and taking care of the safe. So meanwhile, MGZ and 7Cs in a skirmish. Let's see what happens. Final boss knocking down Pansing. This is not looking good for MGZ.
Pansing was one of the finest players for this team. And whether you call them 0 degrees now or whether you call them macro, losing one of your finest players right at the start is definitely not a good sign. Obviously, both the teams are quite far apart, so there is a bit of distance. So they can revive each other. They can keep the other team at bay. But if one of these teams decide to go in and commit to the rush, that's when the real trouble begins.
Yeah, I think Marco's Gaming is going to want to play this one safe, because they're one of those teams that do understand the importance of placement. And they've already got Pansing up, and it looks like they might not re-engage. They might actually just... live to fight another day. Let's see what happens. Not really sure what's happening here, though. It looks like they're trying to re-engage. 7C is just firing off a couple of shots to let them know that, hey, if you guys are up for this fight, we're up too.
Obviously, both the teams want control of this hill, because this is in the smack center of the circle. There is one lone house over there, one lone hut. The hut itself doesn't really account for much, but this hill does give you a great view over towards school and towards the southern parts of Pochinki as well. So it's a good position to hold. And that's why these both teams, they're not falling away. They desperately want to take control of that area. Meanwhile, on some completely other tangent, Insane are in spitting distance of team number 20.
Team
and the circle
Genocide.
shrinks down further. Oh, Team Genocide. Thank
Yes.
you, Rohin, for telling me about that. The circle shrinks even further. It's an awkward circle because half of it is on military base, half of it on the main island. And a lot of teams are going to come crashing in towards the northern borders, where Team Revenge is already in position, ready to welcome them with open arms. But all the other teams, especially 0 Degree, and they were fighting with the other one, they are going to have to disengage and go into the circle.
Look at the
Prioritize
circle.
and do fights.
Just look at the circle. No team knocked out. Team 16, all 16 teams still in play. Of course, a couple of players have eaten a couple of bullets, but it's going to be a firefight to remember. All these teams, all right, and it has started. We've got Team 9 spraying down at multiple teams here.
And they are one of the teams who have just made it into the circle. Luckily, nobody was here to stop their entry directly, so they are in a bit of an advantage. They find themselves in a lucky spot. But yet another airdrop in the water. There's a lot of AWMs that are going to be drowning without having anyone to take them.
Yeah, it's quite a sad situation right there with that airdrop. So lonely in the middle of the water. We can't stop cutting to it again and again. It is quite depressing. And we've got team, what was this? Genocide also making their way into the circle. In the meanwhile, we have a few knocks on 7Cs in the kill feed. And, oh, unfortunately, Marcos Gaming also lost a player. We've got the CELTZ also getting a couple of kills. Maybe we can hopefully see some of this action on screen right now.
Yep, and we have something better. Team 20 about to crash into the compounds of Team 18. That's going to be not really sure about the short forms of the names here, but who cares about the short forms when you have a lot of kills happening on the screen? It seems like they will be disengaging, but this compound right here is going to be one of the hot spots. Team Insane trapped in a really awkward spot, using the cars as a little fortress. Meanwhile, Team 19 continue to scout out in every direction.
Yeah, I'd say Team Full Power is in a very good position. I like the way they've spaced themselves out, Team 19 right there. And all they have to do is just sit tight. They have taken the southernmost compound in that circle right there. And meanwhile, we see 7Cs, Team 18, Initiative spraying down like crazy. Initiative Crucifer, my bad, spraying down on Team Genocide. They're trying to get a couple of angles here and see if they can capitalize on this. Meanwhile, UMAMA not too far away from Genocide. So it's a very small cluster, isn't it, Crips?
Definitely all battling for one small compound. UMAMA on the edges of the cliffs. Meanwhile, the other two teams are safely inside houses, so they're going to have the third-person advantage. But Duke hits the ground as 7Cs re-engages with TeamELVES. We have so many teams stepping into the fight. Elves and 7Cs in the battle for this compound, which is under direct hit. So we might have other teams third-partying as well, as Elves lose one more player. This is becoming problematic.
Oh,
Matt,
man.
he just wants to get out of here. He knows he cannot save his teammates, so he's just going to play for final placement points. And 7Cs, they're trying to make sure that he does not get away. They do damage him quite a bit, but it seems like he's out of sight. But he runs straight into Team Insane.
Oh!
It is so unfortunate. And
Unfortunate.
TeamELVES will be the first ones to get eliminated from this game.
Alright, we just got a correction from one of our admins that it is actually Team CELTZ, and I stand corrected. That's Crips 1, PCP Venom 0. Alright, we've got Team 14 UMAMA still alive and well. Two-man disadvantage, and we've got Team Genocide as well. Oh, and here we go, Bhishma. Bhishma almost getting the elimination right there. Is he gonna go thirst him? Yes, he's trying to throw a molly right there. Bhishma trying to push forward, and this is not looking good for Team Genocide, because that has wasted them so much of precious time. The rotation is far.
Both these teams need to get out of here. The circle's coming. They're going to leave one of their teammates out to bleed as they try to take central positions once again and hopefully avoid the fights long enough to re-engage them later in a safer spot. But I don't think any more safe spots are up for grabs. All the safe ones are gone already. Bhishma, is he going to fall right off the cliff?
Alright,
Yes,
so
he
we got
did.
some Doom 3, Doom 4 situation happening with UMAMA. I mean, they are Mumbai, because in the meanwhile, we've got so many spray downs in the background. Team RIP getting murdered Unfortunately, the kill feed is way faster than we can see. Team 18 Initiative also spraying down Team 15 RIP squad. I guess that's the end of RIP squad right there.
Yep, their entry has been knocked out. They're using the smokes as cover, but I don't think they're gonna last much longer. They have taken a few positions at the edge of the circle, but they will have to move out of that position once again. A lot of these teams are using the cliffs for cover, which is really wise. But the risky thing is, once you do stay here, it's easier for other teams to keep you over there and not let you rotate to the other side. Team 14 at the bottom. I wonder how they're ever going to get up on top, and it seems like they have been spotted. Team 18 is aware about their positions and will be looking forward to cut off their venture up the hill. Meanwhile, Team AIM continues to hold the fort. They've built a fortress.
I think Team 18 did not spot them, because I think they were on the other side, because we've got wall hacks right here as the observers. So I do believe they're on the other side. Meanwhile, AIMGAMING is in a very cute position, and all they have to do is chill. They're just trading items. They're like, here you go, chilling. And then we've got Orange Rock, all three of them still alive. Three of them? Four of them. All four of them alive. It's tough to say. So let's look at the circle right now. We've got Team 17, that's Revenge, all the way on the top left-hand corner, chilling right there. And the fights have started between CELTZ and AIMGAMING in the south. And Team 18 trying to get a couple of shots in initiative. Taking the initiative. Haha. I said it.
But look, good joke. But look at the approach that these two teams are taking, and the next circle is absolutely brutal. Orange Rock in the center. The only compound up for grab is available with Orange Rock. I'm not sure if they'll be able to walk out with the chicken dinner, but they can definitely get a lot of kills.
Honestly speaking, Orange Rock is in such a good position. They just need to relax and worry about anybody who pushes. Meanwhile, 7C is getting a lot of damage down the range. I'm very interested to see what the final kill score for 7C is, because I did see them a lot in the kill feed. And now we're back to Team 17 Revenge Esports. All four arrive.
A really unique approach. They're spreading out quite a lot, and they're making sure that they have coverage and information pretty much everywhere. Meanwhile, some other teams are sticking together. No, Zeus, not like this.
Oh, he makes it. He makes it. There is a way, I believe. There's a way to get up. I have gotten up once, so I think the pros know what to do. Insane.
Definitely know, but it's a very long rotation.
Team Insane and FULLPWR fighting in the background with AIMGAMING looking for you, Mamba. Orange Rocks just chilling in their house, staying safe. Look at the map. They're such a good position. They're picking their fights the way they want to.
Interesting stuff. Power Gaming just walked in with their cars. And they're trying to build a fortress, but I don't think it's the best of decisions right now, because it's smack in the center, no other cover. They need to blow their cars up. 0 degrees, Surya gets one knock onto one of the players. How will they ever survive this? Meanwhile, Revenge are also losing a few of their players. They were the team that spread out quite a lot.
Yeah, we're seeing firefights everywhere with Team FULLPWR in the middle of a fight with Team Tamil. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what's happening right there with Team Insane getting knocks on a lot of teams. Orange Rock also just picking up fights as much as they can. We're not really able to see the action here, but it's going on. And we hope you're enjoying the view.
I think Team Revenge just got completely knocked out. They lost a lot of their players to Insane, and another team came in to third party them. So Team Revenge, I think they're down to their last players. Did see quite a lot of knocks. Remember also, it's all surviving upon Kiki, and they are getting bombarded by Team AIM. They want to keep them pinned at the edges of the cliff here. AIM have set up a good enough situation for themselves to get at least kills onto Yumumba, but they are vulnerable from other positions. But I don't really think that's the concern for now. On the northern edges of the circle, we have 7Cs and 0 degrees who are engaged in a big firefight. But look at the vested edge. There's so many names over here. Insane Naruto walks in with the cars, using the smoke as cover. He's getting peppered by a lot of bullets. But how will he ever survive this? He has players all around him. Power Gaming, they lose one of their players from Naruto as he once again strikes from the shadows. Sky making sure that he can desperately give his teammate a bit of cover. Yes, Team 16 also comes into the fray, and the next circle is absolutely brutal. All these teams will have to abandon their fortresses and walk into the open area where there's hardly any trees for cover.
Yeah, this is actually chaos for everybody. If you see the way the circle is, a lot of these teams have to get into fights in open spaces. There's barely any cover. Only teams that have vehicles are in a good position. And let's not forget Orange Rock right here, chilling in their Orange Rock villa. Shots are being fired. Mavi, these guys are just taking shots at random. They're just seeing if they can get a knock or a kill here and there, because they know they're in such a good position. And this is what I was talking about, placement. Back to you, Crips. Unfortunately, we just lost Crips' audio for a second, so we've got Mavi blowing up a car, whereas the CELTZ guys trying to rotate. There's chaos everywhere. Bullets flying, cars driving through those bullet hailstorms. Mavi spraying down AIMGAMING. Is AIMGAMING not? Oh, Mavi getting the double knock on Ipman and Rocky. Mavi on fire. Oh, I'm so sorry. I stand corrected. Rocky did manage to make it, but not Ipman. Oh, this is not looking good as Mavi single-handedly takes AIMGAMING slowly closer to the dust. We've got Team 18 Initiative. I think we're having some technical issues here with Crips. Do remember that Crips is casting from Mumbai, whereas I'm casting from Chennai. Hopefully he'll be able to join us back. It is really play-by-play situation here, and he's the best play-by-play PUBG Mobile caster that I know. Orange Rock in the just chilling. They don't have to really go anywhere. They're just taking shots from wherever they want to. We've got 6 teams in the circle right now. 7 Cs as well. Team 18 Initiative. Team 17 Revenge Esports. Team 10 7 Cs and Team 5 Orange Rock. Here we go, guys. 5 teams. It's not looking good for CELTZ or Zigzag. I do wonder how Revenge Esports is going to make that rotation to the circle with Initiative right there. CELTZ being all sneaky beaky, like they don't want to get spotted. Everybody hitting the dirt and just taking cover behind blown up vehicles and smokes. And there we go. We've got a perfect angle. Orange Rock slowly entering the battlefield. Shots being fired from Sonic. Team 17, Revenge Esports. All these teams are in pretty decent positions right now. They just have to hold CELTZ and Orange Rock. Zigzag's just gonna want to play like his position because he is at a 3-man disadvantage. Team 17 Revenge Esports pushing in slowly. Look at them go. Using nades to distract. Shots being fired again from Team Initiative. And Crucifer getting Raven. Revenge. Sonic and Akshay slowly making their way forward. So look at that. Oh, yep. CELTZ spotted them. And Anto also trying to enter the fight. Just spraying down into the smoke with his DP. Hoping to get a hit marker on somebody. This is such a great game for Orange Rock. They played everything right. They were so lucky with the circle as well. This is not looking good for Team Initiative as they have to push right through Revenge and CELTZ. Crips, are you back? Alright, Team 17 spraying down Sonic, getting the knock with 1 HP and the finish on Crucifer. But is that circle going to hurt him? Is that circle going to hurt him? Yes, it is. Mavi finishing off Akshay. And Akshay now getting thirsted by a Tanki from CELTZ. CELTZ in a great position. Just 2 guys like dropping lead on so many teams. Finishing, knocking Fury Aditya trading on CELTZ and finishing off Atanki. One player of CELTZ still remaining. Red, is he going to be able to do it? It's Aditya versus Red. And Aditya wins that with a headshot. We've got Team Initiative, 1 player left. 7 Cs, 1 player left. Orange Rock, 4 players left. And Revenge Esports, Sonic, 1 player left. And unfortunately, Sonic sees the 7 Cs player and puts him out of his misery. Unfortunately for him, oh, he would have been so mad at himself for losing that position right there. Now, all Sonic and Aditya have to do is just make sure that they outlast each other or just spot each other. Because the fight is now for 2nd place right here. And Sonic's already been spotted. Aditya is spraying him down. And Crips is back. Sonic with 1 HP. Going towards the crate and bandaging up. Welcome back, Crips. And Aditya has been spotted by Daljit. And Aditya is out of the game at 3rd place. It is 1st place versus 2nd place. Revenge Esports going to be very happy that they at least made it to 2nd place. Welcome back, Crips. How's it going?
Yeah, not so good, as my internet started giving me issues once again. As Sonic, he also has a lot of issues. He's about to get pushed and looking to finish this off. Down to 1 HP, and he will be finishing in 2nd. At least he's gonna be happy that he got more points than the 3rd team, which was also trying to contest for the same spot.
That was an amazing game for everybody to see right there, because like we were saying in the beginning, the teams that do play for position, play for the circle are definitely going to be the teams that come out on top. Of course, Orange Rock were pretty lucky, didn't they, Crips?
Definitely. The zone going in their favor, getting the only compound available up for grabs, as the rest of the teams also tried quite hard to get and stay relevant in the circle, trying to desperately grab whichever spots were available to hide. We saw a lot of action alongside the cliffs as well, but obviously once they were pushed out of the cliffs and into the open, that's when the fortresses started to be really, really helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It was quite an interesting circle, but unfortunately, apart from Orange Rock, every other team was kind of screwed for cover, and it was just chaos as they all rotated into the circle. I think it was around that time we sort of lost you. So really, what were your thoughts on that little bit right there? Did you get to see what was happening?
I got bits and pieces of the action, but obviously the main chunk of the meat, the main chunk of the chicken dinner, unfortunately is something, I missed it. My bad. I completely take the blame. In fact,
that's all right, Crips. I got you covered. We had Mavi taking some very interesting shots at AIMGAMING, really peppering them. We did miss a lot of fights on the kill feed, but hopefully I think 7 Cs did manage to bag a couple of kills. So did 0 Degree. I'm not really sure what happened to Team Tamil right there, but I am rooting for them, for I am from Chennai. Let's hopefully see the scoreboard in a bit, and then we'll understand what really went down in this exhilarating match of PUBG Mobile. We've got the PMCO split going on. We've got 3 other matches remaining. We've got Sanhok, Miramar, and Vikendi. So don't go anywhere. Just stick around. And if you haven't subscribed to the PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube channel, please do. If you haven't hit that like button, please do. And if you haven't spammed your favorite team's name in the chat, please do. Back to you, Crips.
your favorite teams will be performing throughout the week, as we have a lot of other matches lined up as well. 3 more today, and these games, they were just the start, as we will have the actual
And we are back. We can actually seeing Orange Rock Mavi spray down Team AIM Gaming. So let's get a quick recap on what happened. Crips, sorry, I had to cut you off right there. You're back.
No problem at all. Action that we were talking about, Mavi was getting a lot of shots onto the players of AIM Gaming who were making their way out across the open, which was honestly a very Revenge also did a lot of good stuff,
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to round 2 of the PMCO 2020 Spring Split. This is the second match, and we are going to be venturing into the lush green gardens of Sanhok. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Crips here, and I am PCP Venom, aka Rohin. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream.
Well, that was a lot of names you just said for yourself.
Yes. Yes, unfortunately, I'm a man of many names. And let's look at the standings right here. I'll let you take it away, Crips.
Well, Orange Rock, obviously, they come out on the absolute top, having the central position to themselves, and the chicken dinner, they are leading with 30 points. Revenge, the last remaining team who somehow managed to crawl their way to the second place with 23 points. Initiative, trailing close behind at 17. And after that, 7Cs Esports, they did get quite a lot of kills, but unfortunately they got knocked out because they were caught in a very awkward position in the middle of the firefight with only 15 points. CELTZ and Team Tamilas, they are very close to each other with 11, 10 points respectively. And after that, Insane and FULLPWR, they take the last few spots. FULLPWR obviously were the ones who started fighting very early in the game, and they lost quite a lot of players, which obviously led to their downfalls. AIMGAMING were caught in the middle of a very awkward rotation as we saw Maui gun them down ruthlessly in the middle of no cover at all, and they went out at the 9th spot with 7 points only. Meanwhile, Marcos Gaming, we saw them engage with Unicorn, not Unicorn, with Dumumba, my bad over there. Even after taking the early game fights, they are with only 3 and 2 points respectively. They are trailing quite far behind. Meanwhile, Rip Squad, ORB Elites, ELVES, and JSLX with only 1 point each. No kills to their names at all. These guys are gonna be in trouble if they don't show up soon enough.
Well, let's hope that they do show up in Sanhok, because Sanhok is a very different kind of game here, where it's all about the pushes and it's all about those close encounters. My words are spilling out the wrong way. So I'm really hoping that Umamba, Marcos, JSLX, Rip Squad, ORB Elites, and TeamELVES really come back, and hopefully this will be their comeback game. Yeah, but let's talk about Orange Rock. Like, what was that? They just had to sit there and take pot shots at people. It was such a great game for them. Do you think their luck will continue?
Well, obviously, this was way too easy for Orange Rock. In Group A, this is the team that has the highest amount of achievements to their name. So they're kind of the favorites to come out on top of their groups in the first place. But on top of that, if they keep having amazing rotations, I'm not sure if it was just pure dumb luck which gave Orange Rock all this advantage, or whether they actually predicted the circle going over there. But they did it well. And if the strongest team goes off at a very strong start like this, I'm starting to feel a little concerned for the other teams in the mix.
Alright, let's see if we can get some of these teams to come back, because we've already got a lot of people in chat who are rooting for Marcos Gaming, Raven, and a few other players. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are reading the chat right now. And so we'd like to know exactly how you think the second match for Sanhok is going to pan out. Who are your favorite teams, and who do you think is going to actually win that chicken dinner in Sanhok?
Speaking of Sanhok, we did see in quarter tournaments how dreaded bootcamp turns out to be. If you drop there, you can either end up winning the chicken dinner entirely, or you get eliminated right off the bat. Surprisingly, in Sanhok, the spread of when the fights take place is quite even. We saw in Erangel, the first few minutes of the game, it's pretty dull, and the teams have quite a lot of time to boot up and strategize their rotations. In Sanhok, it's completely different. The fights start from the moment you land on the ground. So that way, team like Orange Rock once again have an advantage because they have strong individual players who thrive when it comes to aim battles. And on the other hand, we have PC's ORB Elite, who also have a lot of experience, and even though the players in those teams might not be as mechanically gifted as the ones in Orange Rock, they definitely have an edge over all the other teams that are entering this game. So Rohan, I'd like to ask you a personal question over here.
Let's go.
Which team are you supporting? I mean, as casters, we're not allowed to support any team, but which team do you think will have an advantage going into the second map?
Well, I think Sanhok is a very interesting map because it's really about how quickly you can get those frags. And I think my money is going to be on... drum roll, please. I'm going to have to say... 7 Cs. I'm going to have to say 7 Cs. You know, Crips, if you could do me a favor and maybe increase your mic volume, that would be perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Let's just get that gain up just a little bit so that the lovely viewers who are sitting and watching the match can hear your beautiful, sexy voice. And then now the plane is started.
Wow.
Yes, much better, much better.
A lot of adjectives to describe my voice. Thank you so much. But if we were to describe the main path right now, it's leaning heavily towards the west. The other 2 islands are going to be hotspots. It's going to be difficult to get to places like Kampong, Lakwai, Camp Bravo, etc. Meanwhile, Ruins and Painan seem to be hot property. Surprisingly, Boot Camp will not be as heavily contested in this game, as I see very few teams headed that direction. Team CELTZ obviously going for that. They're flying over it, but I'm not sure if they'll land on top of it. 0 Degrees taking their spot in Ruins. Surprisingly, Painan is pretty much empty. Okay, I did not expect that at all. 7 Cs in Camp Alpha. They're going to be safe and nice. Meanwhile, Orange Rock is going for a really safe approach. They're spreading out across a bunch of different compounds, but not really taking any big areas for themselves.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, Orange Rock clearly wants to defend their positions as number 1, numero uno, and they're going to want to play safe. They don't obviously... Like, Sanhok is a map where it's so easy to lose your position, and it makes sense that a lot of these teams are playing it safe. We've got Team CELTZ right here on the camera in the bottom feed, looting boot camp, so hopefully CELTZ can make it out alive with a lot of loot and, you know, convert that loot into survivability.
Definitely.
We've got Rip Squad right here in Paradise. Are you a big fan of Paradise?
I am actually big. I mean, Paradise Boot Camp. I expected many more teams to be here, but surprisingly, these teams are pretty much unchallenged. So they have all the time in the world to secure great loot and then spread out as they wish. Speaking of spreading out, I want you to look at what Orange Rock is going for. They have John, who has taken the trifecta compound. It's that one compound in the center of all 3 islands, which has bridges connecting all of them. Meanwhile, Mavi and Daljit are dangerously close to Umamba. That could be a bit of a concern.
I don't think so.
AIM as
I think Orange Rock kind of know what they're doing with the split there, but already Team Genocide has XDD knocked, and we're not really sure what's happening there. So Team Orb looks like they're pushing in. Shots are being fired. Nerf has been knocked by Ash Gamer. It is up to Ayush to now see what he can do. Help Nerf if he can. Noob with the QBU, my bad. Same 5.56 ammo. Now let's see what Team Genocide does here, as they do have to res XDD really quickly, or they're gonna let him bleed out. And I guess they're going to have to... Oh, nope. XDD is dead. Team Genocide pushing in. Oh, Daljit also in the mix.
But the UZ firing over, there's a lot of advantage he can get himself if he stays on top over here, and he secured it. He destroys Kiki up on top, and now he has a great read as to what the other teams can do. Meanwhile, the fight between Genocide and Orb continues to rage on. Ash Gamer has spotted Tsunami with the M16, has a 4-scope, which can be a great weapon in a situation like this. A definite advantage over Tsunami with just a hollow sight. And he doesn't have any backup as well. All these teams splitting open wide.
Yeah, I didn't expect...
Sure Tsunami...
I didn't expect these kind of skirmishes so early in the game, and unfortunately, Sanhok's the kind of map that just forces everybody together. Ash Gamer with his 4x needs to get an angle on somebody, because Critical and his teammate are not looking so hot. And we're back to Team Orb, who've already lost Nerf phase, and Orange Rock taking a couple of shots at Team 14 Umamba. They already managed to do some pretty decent damage to them.
Definitely.
How many players is Team Umamba down? 2 players?
I definitely saw one of the players die to the hands of Mavi. Not sure if the second one is dead as well. But Orange Rock, I like the way they are spreading out all across the northeastern island. They... Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
They want to approach boot camp too.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what
I
went
paused
there.
for a second right there.
Yeah, I was
Because
a little like surprised, like, hey, wait, what's happening here? Hey, maybe the pros know certain things that the noob casters don't know. You know, like, I mean, are you a pro player, Crips? Do you know everything that the pros do these days?
I mean, I was a conqueror in Season 4, so I guess I have some credibility. But it seems like they want to swim all their way towards bootcamp. Now, Orange Rock, the good thing that they did was they drove Umumba out of their island, and they had pretty much a lot of information all across the northeastern part. Now they're swimming towards bootcamp so that they can get some extra information as well. Meanwhile, on our screen, CELTZ is all alone. His teammates quite far spread apart, and they are also towards the bank of the rivers, which means they should be able to take a look at the other islands. Power is on their screens. I don't think they will spot them anytime soon. But this position definitely can grant them an advantage, especially over those teams who will now be looking to rotate out of Paradise Resort.
Yeah, it looks like they have a pretty good handle of what they're trying to do here. They're just playing for reconnaissance, playing for intel. I don't think CELTZ is going to commit to a fight even if they spot somebody. They probably, their team comms are just like, hey, we've got a guy over there or we've got a team over there, and then they'll take a call. And I've seen a lot of pro teams do that, where they don't play a rush game. They just make sure that they have all the intel. And despite the fact that Sanhok is a small map, intel in Sanhok is definitely very, very good. We've got Orange Rock right in front of a... Oh my god, look at that. Look at that loot. We've got an AWM, level 3 helmet vest, and level 3 backpack. It's like it's Orange Rock's day today. They're just getting lucky game after game. Back to you, Crips.
But surprisingly, they're not going for it. They want to use this as a bait. They're hoping that somebody else comes in and tries to take it so that they don't just get the loot, they also get the points on top of it. I mean, it's not like they're lacking in points at all. But hey, you can always be more hungry. Surprisingly, they don't have a lot of good loot just yet. You see Daljit, he doesn't even have any armor. Not even basic level 1. Meanwhile, TeamELVES might just spot Zeus right there. I think Duke has an idea about Zeus's positions. He's trying to just check if there are any other teammates of Team AIM nearby. Because if there aren't, then Zeus is in clear and definite danger. He needs to get out here without being detected. And it seems like he will just manage to slip past them.
Wasn't Zeus the guy last game who fell down the cliff in Erangel? Yeah, this guy's luck is not good. Like, I like how the observers are showing us the really lucky players versus the really unlucky players. This is not looking good for Team AIMGAMING. Oh, is TeamELVES taking shots at him? Nope. They're just tracking him. They're looking. Look at that. That is triggered discipline, ladies and gentlemen. And not for long as they spray him down. Beautiful, but unfortunately not effective.
He's gonna get away, and he has a nice big cliff to hide behind. Looks like ELVES missed that chance to secure a nice free kill. I can understand why they didn't take any of those shots. They probably wanted to gather more information about where his teammates are and then engage them all at once or engage them with more information. But now, if they don't realize that he was all alone, it seems like they will be disappointed after not getting a free kill. Meanwhile, Orange Rock, they were spreading out quite a bit before, and we also saw them trying to drown their own bike into the water, but it seems like they have now grouped up back again. And even Zeus seems like he is far, far away from TeamELVES at this point, who are now pursuing him towards the other edge of the hill. We did see Umumba also. When the minion popped up for like one brief second, they have also gathered up once again and are on the completely other side of the northeastern island, far, far away from ORB. They don't want to lose any of their players.
I like how all teams are still pretty much in the game. We've got 16 on the scoreboard on the top left-hand corner. Hopefully we can segue into a little map view so that we can understand exactly where which team is. Zeus has also successfully rotated to his teammates, but Orb just got a nice package from the PUBG gods themselves. And as that plume of red smoke erupts, hopefully Orb will spot it quickly enough and we'll get an idea of what loot they'll get. They don't have the greatest loot either, speaking of loot. Ayush with the level 1 vest and helmet right there.
And only one first aid kit in the backpack. Another AWM up for grabs. It seems like ORB don't want to take any risks as they are pretty sure that somebody or the other will come contesting this. And Team ORB are going to get this package right at the edges of ruins and the bridge, which means TeamELVES are about to... Oh, no, wait. Okay. TeamELVES are engaging with Team AIM over there on a completely different part of the map, which is great. But Revenge are now converging upon ORB to take fight on the control of that airdrop.
Yeah, looks like it is a fight between Team AIMGAMING and Elves. Let's see what happens here. Meanwhile, ORB not really entertaining that drop as Team 17 Revenge Esports circles dangerously close. And Elves now going for the push because they had the one knock right there and the one knock, one push philosophy. Ip Man trying a third person peek right here. He cooks his molly, doesn't do much with it. Duke with TeamELVES getting stuck on the window right there. This is very interesting. Let's see how this pans out for both these teams. Ip Man just making it out with the skin of his teeth. He's going to have to first aid as TeamELVES cook their nades. Let's see if they manage to get anybody. The nades fly, but no damage to anybody. We've got Team Gaming 4 players and TeamELVES 4 players. Let's see how it works. Nades being thrown all over the place.
This is a bit of a concern. Matt, if you just saw, is taking the long way around and he's trying to flank Team AIM from the other side. I'm not sure if AIM will be able to see this coming, but if Matt is able to get to this position quickly enough, he might just be able to allow his TeamELVES to get out of that house. In this entire compound of 3 houses, all of TeamELVES is inside one, which means if you get one lucky nade in there, you might just be able to blow up the entire team. And Team AIM should definitely be able to surround them from all the sides. The routes of getting out of this compound are getting cut off one by one. Matt is still far away. I'm not sure if he wants to come ahead and help his team out. But as I say that, 0 Degrees are coming into third party on this. And Pan Singh once again has a lot of trigger discipline. He spotted out plenty of players from TeamELVES, but he's not taking the fight. And now he finally does connect the shot. And RV hits the floor. He's going to secure the kill onto him as well. Elves are down 2 players.
Do not
Only
mess
2
with
in the
Pan
house.
Singh, ladies and gentlemen. I love how he just went for that instant thirst. I mean, you know, these guys, 0 Degree, are like, hey man, we've got our kill. Let's move out of here. I love the opportunistic skirmish that they just took here. They were just like, hey, we don't need to commit to this fight. And it looks like Team 16, Team Tamil in the house versus TeamGenocide. Let's see what happens with Team Tamil pushing in. But unfortunately, oh no, they lose Raven. The crowd is not going to be very happy with this. And bullets keep firing as Ash Gamer tries to third-person peek. The rest of Tamil Gaming, XRX07, knocked and bleeding out pretty fast. TeamGenocide really needs to take care of this as quickly as possible. They need to push and get a couple of knocks, and they are going to push. Nope, they're just trading. Noob going in to get Critic07 healed up. We still have a 3v3 going on screen. Crips?
Luckily, Ash Gamer is keeping the other players of Team Raven at bay as Noob tries to get the revive onto his teammate. As long as he's able to get the revive, and he does manage to do it successfully, Critic has more than enough time to heal himself up and get prepared for another battle. Molotovs being deployed so that Manti can't get any shots inside the house. And even though he does spot them out, he cannot enter the house physically to finish them off, granting them a bit more time to gather up their resources and prepare themselves for the second round of this fight. Both the teams taking a brief hiatus so that they can heal themselves up. And once again, the battle will continue as they decide to re-engage. Manti going around the house, hoping that he will be able to spot them out. No, wait! He's completely walking away from this fight. It seems like they want to disengage. They do not want to waste any more resources into this one.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. If you just look at the circle, everybody on the map just got circle screwed right here. And they all have to rotate all the way to the northeast section of the map. with RIP squad chilling in Paradise Resort. Looks like they are the new lucky team. Team Genocide also, it's a good thing that the Tamil team did decide to like disengage, because they did lose one of their better players, and it just didn't make sense to commit to such a fight outside in the open. Oh, but Team Genocide taking a couple of pot shots at these guys. Oh, they are not ready to let them go. And Team 11, ORB Elites also in view of Team 16, Team Tamil. Shots are being fired. Crips, what is happening here?
This is a mess as all the teams scramble for cover. A lot of teams in this vicinity at the edges of Quarry, which means the way into the circle is not pretty. There's open hills, and that's when the danger lurks around the corners. We did see the minimap, and surprisingly, there's one thing I would like to point out, but I'm gonna wait until Raven finishes off Critic. They did manage to get the knock onto Critic once again. He was the man who his team was trying to save, but once again, he's in danger. And I don't think this time Noob will be able to get the revive onto him, as he's trapped, and the way towards him is not safe. Meanwhile, Manti starts getting shot from Team ORB. He realizes that ORB wants a third party, and he turns around, manages to fight them. Team Genocide are being kept at bay as Critic finally dies after bleeding out. No teammate able to revive him, but Mantu surprisingly ducking, dodging, and weaving undercover. ORB also realizing that they can't commit to this fight for too long, try to make their way into the circle, but Raven have new contenders. This time, Genocide, with the last two remaining players, are just trying to take down Raven players as they know that they will be knocked out for certain. He manages to get 2 knocks, Ash Gamer, with perfect aim control. This man is an absolute beast, and now he's going to be gatekeeping Raven as they try to desperately zone, but he will not allow that to happen. Striker has a lot of work to do and a lot of teammates to revive. And on top of that, he needs to make his way into the circle and fight Team Genocide on the way in.
Gatekeeping,
Genocide,
indeed. I love the way he played. Ash Gamer doing a lot of damage to Team Tamil as they have to lick their wounds right outside that blue zone right there. No, sorry, they are in the blue zone. This is not looking good for any of these teams as they all rush to rotate in the circle. Then look at 0 Degree and RIP squad getting ready for the fight for Paradise. Lost, I want to say. Let's see how it goes with 0 Degree and RIP squad, because the team that controls Paradise is going to be in a very decent position for the next couple of circles. TeamELVES also managing to survive somehow at the edge of the circle along with Team AIMGAMING and CELTZ. Here we go. We've got 0 Degree starting the fight right here. They're on the northwest side of Paradise, and all they have to do is find a way to either hold this hill or maybe take Paradise for themselves. What do you think they'll do, Crips?
In order to keep their men alive for the later stages of the fight, I think they wouldn't be too sad if they don't get the control of Paradise Resort entirely. They should be pretty happy on this hill. Meanwhile, we did see Mumbai, who lost a lot of their players at the start of the game. Now they have one of the best positions in the entire map. At the north end of the circle, they are completely safe. The only danger that lurks around is Team Orange Rocks, which probably won't have to deal with them since they have bigger issues. Meanwhile, if you look at Team Raven, they're still in the blue zone. They're just hoping that they can heal each other off and stay outside of danger for as long as possible. Meanwhile, 7Cs takes the fight with CELTZ, and they are hitting the floor.
Oh, this is not looking good for Team CELTZ as they take a lot of damage. 7Cs also desperately trying to rotate in the circle. Viewers do notice that the circle has shifted a little bit to the top right-hand corner of Paradise Resort. And 0 Degree rushing to get into safety. 7Cs and CELTZ fighting it out. This is not looking good for 7Cs. I have to say, Team CELTZ is a team that I'm not familiar with, and I'm pretty impressed with the way they've been performing so far. Your thoughts, Crips?
Trigger, I'm actually worried about this man. He has the most powerful weapon in the game, but he's not taking the fights. I think he's on top of the hill so that he can pick off the remaining players of 7C, pick off the remaining players of the team that he just spotted who are already engaged in a fight. Meanwhile, we just saw one of the players from Team 0 Degrees take a knock, and it seems like Team IE is about to come up and fight with them. CELTZ They are desperately trying to stay alive in the blue zone with some 7Cs players all around them. Meanwhile, Revenge are also in the fray. Atanki has been spotted. Tsunami wants to take this fight, and he gets the shot. He knocks him down and manages to finish him off as well. One clean kill in his favor. Team AIM also taking one of the players of Revenge out of the fight as Team Genocide once again. They are in the fights. How is this happening? All the teams are starting to take multiple fights, and this might just end up not working out for any of them as they take too much damage and they bite off more than they can chew. Venom?
Yeah, this has not been a great fight for these 3-4 teams as they've been fighting outside the circle, and the rotation is going to definitely hurt them as they deplete all their heals. But it looks like Team ORB is still pretty much in the game, and hopefully they'll be able to make it into the safe zone. We've got Team Insane also comfortably in the safe zone along with 0 Degree. And let's see what happens here as all these teams sort of shack up and take pot shots at each other.
Two of the players of 0 Degrees are sharing the same compound as Team Insane, and that makes me a bit uncomfortable. AIM is far away from them, which means they won't be able to take the fights, but as 0 Degrees tries to push into the other spot, Team IE, they take the chance. They get the knock as well. Surya is down, and he will be finished off by Aditya. The dude, the last remaining survivor for Team 0 Degrees, now has to play for survival points. Once again, the circle shifts, and Team Power seem to be the one in control. The dude... The house he's in is the only house that is in the zone, so that means Team Insane are going to have to push towards him. And at the same time, he's sandwiched in between Team Insane and Team IE. Meanwhile, AIM have no opponents next to them whatsoever. I have to point out, Rip and 7 Degrees, they need to kill each other off because they won't allow any of them to go towards the safe zone before they do not finish off their opponents. Zigsaw and Trigger at the edges of Paradise Resort. They know for a fact that Rip are somewhere inside. But who will take the fights first? Oop, there goes the boss. Hits the floor. Strip squad, finish him off. Aditya also gets down. But while I say that, Karan has a clean view of sight onto Zigsaw. He's going to get the knock. And Trigger weaving around. He's trying to get the shots onto him. But the TPP is not allowing him to do so. He will get third-partied by squad Raptor. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce his name there for a second. And while I say that, Naruto somehow manages to find the time to revive his teammate. It seems like 7Cs will be hitting the floor as most of the players are out. Insane desperately lose one of their players against Sky. Even he's down, and Legend too. Naruto, he tries to save his teammate, but both of them end up walking into the crosshairs of the dude, and he ends up wiping out Team Insane all by himself, securing so many points. Rohin, this was an absolute blunder. Dude was not supposed to survive for even one bit, but he managed to walk away with so many kills.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy for the dude and 0 Degree. Let's hope that he can actually stay alive, but looks like AIM does know that he is shacked up in that outhouse, and they are going to peek. And they're going to pre-fire, but the dude gets him! Zeus gets knocked, and Zeus gets aggroed. Oh my god, oh my god. The dude is on fire.
Quite literally. I'm surprised that none of the teams have actually used any grenades to flush him out, and they just keep feeding kills to him. He's gonna be one happy man by the time this game ends. Meanwhile, speaking of happy men, Music just killed one of the players of Team Umumba, and now they are in trouble. Bhishma knocked. Meanwhile, at the same time, JSL are also trying to get a couple of kills. All the teams have lost a few players. Meanwhile, IXC, Fury, and Muses, they have surrounded Team JSL from both the directions. Robin trying to revive his teammates, but while I say that, Daljeet finds one of the players of Umumba. Goldblade hits the floor. They are at the edge of the circle, and they have no contestants over here. They can safely make their way and try to take the fights at their own terms. Mavi and Daljeet, two of the strongest players of the country. I'm not even going to say Orange Rock. The two strongest players of the country still alive for their team. And nobody has spotted them, which means they can...
No, Mavi just gets knocked. Unfortunately, as you just said that, Mavi just got knocked and thirsted by Team Power, FULLPWR Podo. And here we go, we're back in the fray again with JSL spraying down Team 18 Initiative. Oh man, this is such a beautiful, beautiful circle.
Daljeet in a lot of trouble healing away outside the zone. Meanwhile, Power, they now have the best position in the entire game. They have no idea whatsoever that Daljeet is right behind them in the blue. He's sticking away, but he doesn't have any more first aid kits. This is his cue to get into the circle, but before he does that, he's going to take down Zonebam. Not gonna be able to do any more damage. Just gets one knock, and now we are down to the final 5 teams. Power towards the top of the hills. They're gonna have all the advantage, as they should have the high ground. Meanwhile, Team 15, Team Rip Squad are using the smokes for cover. Everyone now should be able to get a little bit of a break so that they can heal up and prepare for the last phase of the circle.
Meanwhile, the chat is furious that we jinxed it for Orange Rock as Team Power, or Full Power as they call themselves, checked their privilege. Here we go, we've got Team 19 snaking it all up, and that's what Sanhok is about. The last circle is all about getting into that juicy grass. Shots being fired from JSL as Power keeping that trigger discipline. And here we go, boys. JSL spraying all over the place. Robin God not getting a single hit marker on the screen. It's between JSL and Power right now. And Rip Squad is finally out of the game at 5th place.
Revenge was the team that knocked them out, and we are now down to 4. But the best thing over here is even though Power Gaming have all 4 of the players alive, oh, Kobe, they accidentally end up nading themselves. That's a mistake that they can't afford to make in such a late stage of this game. They had all 4 players alive, but now that's not the case anymore. JSL wants to take this chance and finish them off. Surya connects a lot of shots, and he does quite a lot of damage. He will be finished off by another nade, and Surya ends up getting a double kill. He's single-handedly wiping Team Power, and this is a disaster. Even after having everything in their favor, JSL are making a comeback, and now they are out. 3 teams remain, and the strongest contenders have just been knocked out of the game. How on earth did this happen, Rohin?
Surya OP living up to his name, Surya Space OP. Looks like this is going to be a very interesting fight for JSL as they try to maybe come out on top, and this will help them in the leaderboards. It is the quest for 1st place, 2nd place, and 3rd place. Here we've got Team JSL, Team 17, Revenge Esports, and of course the lone Team 8, AIMGAMING. Rocky taking care of Robin God.
Yeah,
Oh
but now
my
he's
God.
given away his position. It was a 2 versus 2 versus 1. Rocky was the one who was hiding away, but he will be traded by Surya. Now, this is the perfect chance for Revenge to push. They know that one of the teammates is knocked. They know exactly where Surya is. He's on the edges of the circle, and AIM will finish him off. Team AIM win the chicken dinner. The least likely contestants to win the entire game. They somehow make it work, and Revenge
Wait,
with the chicken dinner make a
are you-
massive comeback.
I think you said the wrong thing, Cribs. I'm going to have to stop you there. Yeah, Team AIM came 3rd. And we'll just look at the
Revenge were the
scoreboard
ones-
just again. Yeah. We're
were
so
the ones who
sorry.
actually came out on
We're
top.
so sorry. We messed that up. But yeah. It looks like Revenge came 1st. And GG Revenge. Exactly. That was quite an interesting game, and I'm quite happy that Full Power actually showed us some action towards the end of that circle. What do you think, Crips?
I'm actually so happy that they were able to upset one of the best teams that was likely to win this game. I'm so surprised how JSL were able to take care of Team Full Power all by themselves. It all started with one mistake. Full Power accidentally naded one of their own players. I think his nade exploded in his own hand as he was trying to cook it, but he did not get the timing right, and that was one player down. And as they tried to revive their last remaining, the one player that made the mistake, it was all chaos, and JSL took that chance. Surya with some amazing shots. He was able to secure so many kills for his own team.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the people in chat, yes, Team Tamil did get knocked out pretty early on in the game, and we did see some pretty decent gameplay from the dude. I'm gonna have to highlight his gameplay right there. Sitting in the shack, getting a couple of spray downs, getting a couple of thirsts. I gotta say, the dude living up to his name. And not only that, Surya OP with that beautiful spray down. Yes, props to him as well. We saw some pretty decent kills, and we'll be queuing up the highlights in just a bit. But don't go anywhere because we have 2 other games remaining. We have Miramar, I believe, next, and then we have Vikendi. And thank you so much for watching the stream, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit that like button. Do subscribe for more trash English, more English PMCO casting from Crips and PC Peasants. That's me.
a good way to like. I mean, self-depreciating humor is the best kind of humor.
Hey
in my
man,
opinion.
you got the last 3 guys wrong.
Well, that's what happens, right? It happens so soon.
Yeah.
Revenge, they had the chance when they realized that one of the players of their opponent team is knocked, and they took it. They grabbed it.
Alright guys, see you later. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are back to round 3, Miramar of the PMCO 2020 Spring Split. I have Crips with me. Hello, Crips.
Hello there, Rohan. I'm having a great time today, and I hope you guys are too. Game number 2 has just ended. We are now about to start the third game on the desert map Miramar. Let's take a look at the standings for the second game. We had Revenge Esports, and I was right. It was Revenge who won the game with 20 points. Sometimes the game can be a bit buggy, but my knowledge is not. So I take back my apology, which I just did a few minutes ago. 20 points to Revenge Esports, who surprisingly don't have the highest amount of kills. It was JSLX who were able to wipe out FULLPWR, and that's how they had a lot of kills. They had 8 kills, and that's how they got 22.
I'm gonna have to just cut you in there. JSLX with 8 kills, making them the top fraggers for that round over there.
Yes.
And then we've got AIMGAMING coming in at 3rd place with 6 kills. It looks like these teams really know how to perform really well. Unfortunately, we're taking too long to describe the standings. So we have TeamGenocide coming in 9th place at with 1 placement point with 6 kills. TeamGenocide getting into those fights, doing a good job. Team ORB Elites at 10th place with 4 kills. And of course, those of you who are asking, Team Tamil coming in at 11th place with 3 kills. It's not looking good for TeamELVES and Elites. And 7Cs and CELTZ also haven't been performing of late. Mamba got knocked out pretty early out, and you know, it's really sad. Let's hope that these teams at the end of the standings can actually make it back in match 3 and match 4.
Yes, and even if they cannot do so, they can't lose all hope just yet, because these group stage qualifiers will go on all week and they have plenty of time to bounce back. But that doesn't mean that the other teams can't keep racking up more points, so they need to get online fast. We did see TeamELVES try to get away from the crosses of Team ORB, but that tricky discipline actually did not end up getting them any kills, which could have granted them 1 more point, which isn't really that big, but still, it's something better than nothing. Either way, after these standings of Game 2 are over, we probably will be seeing the standings overall, and I think Team ORB still have a pretty good lead. I'm sorry, not Team ORB. Team Orange Rock still have a pretty good lead on everyone.
Yeah, and I think Team Orange Rock are the fan favorites here, and looks like everybody's just waiting for them to win this 4-match day. And yeah, we're looking at the Hindi desk with Ketan and Krat. And look at how comfortable they are in their fancy desk. How are you doing, Crips?
Well, I'm sitting on my not-so-fancy computer desk in the comfort of my home in Mumbai. This PMCO Indian qualifiers really captures the essence of the deeply entrenched game in this company. We have PC peasants sitting in Chennai. I'm sitting here in Mumbai, and we are looking at Ketan and Krat, who are sitting in Delhi in the Nordwind Gaming Studios right now, who are also doing the Hindi desk at the same time. And while we pretend to voice them all, we really just have to appreciate the amount of work this game has done to this country. It's brought all these gamers together from different parts, and that is why we are able to see this beautiful tournament called PUBG Mobile Club Open.
Indeed. And now we do have the playing path is directly right between the dissecting the map, and Team Revenge Esports already jumping out, hopefully going for Campo. This is a map that relies on long distance fights and skirmishes. So any bets on teams which will do really well, other than of course Orange Rock, which seems to be everyone's favorite?
I think Team Insane do have a lot of potential. They have some really good snipers and aimers, so I'm hoping that they would be one of the teams that show us what real fragging firepower looks like. Also, I think 7Cs might just find a chance to bounce back in this game, because they seem to be heading towards La Cuberia, where they will be fighting Team ORB Elites right off the bat. So it's 2 of the teams who are currently at the bottom of the table who have opportunities to eliminate each other right off the bat. Meanwhile, Los Leones is surprisingly unpopulated. Humumba taking a safe approach and heading towards El Pozo. I don't think they'll be able to make it, but they can parachute glide their way towards that city. It's going to take a bit of time. Revenge taking the cars and still heading towards Campo Militar. Meanwhile, Orange Rock is surprisingly split apart, and they have quite a lot of distance between all their players. It seems like they want to capture vehicles first and then head over towards one of the places. The circle, though, it is leading heavily towards the south, and not a lot of teams are in the circle right now. So we will see San Martin and Junkyard become a graveyard of bodies as most of the teams come crashing into the northern edge of the circle. Ruin?
Yeah, whatever you said. I think you pretty much covered everything that needs to be said right here. We've got a lot of good teams in good positions right now. We've got Zero Degree, we've got Team Power, and we've got TeamGenocide all safely within the circle. I love this horse skin, by the way. This is such a beautiful skin. Yeah, and this is Team 16 for those of you who have been supporting Team Tamil and coming to our streams. This is the team that everybody's been clamoring for. Clearly a crowd favorite amongst the viewers. And then we've got GSL, the second place winners from the last game. Not too far away. If I'm not mistaken, this is Chumasera. Hopefully we'll get to see some action here.
Well, I had one question for you. Raven TT, I mean, TT stands for Team Tamil, but what's Raven? Is it their sponsor? Is it some organization that's backing them? I'm just
I think so.
curious
I think there is an org in Tamil Nadu called Raven Esports, and that must be the team esports org that's sort of backing them. And Team Tamilas is Tamilas for the Tamilians in the house. Yeah, that's the name of their team. So they've done it Raven TT, and yeah, let's hopefully see some good action from them. Yeah, moving up to the map. We've got a pretty spread out map right there. I mean, Revenge is going to have to rotate quite a bit from Campo, and slowly Orange Rock is making their way to the edge of the circle. How do you think this is going to play out, Crips?
Towards the edge of the circle, I think Orange Rock will once again go for the split approach, where they will have their players positioned like CCTVs, cameras all across the edge. I'm actually surprised none of the teams want to take control of San Martin right off the bat. Which will turn into one of the hot zones because it's one of the only places where there is plenty of cover. Hacendia del Patron, nobody has taken control of it once again as two of the hottest territories. I think Daljit might be heading towards Hacendia anytime soon. But if we look at Los Leones, where the real meat of the action is, we have 0 Degree, Team FULLPWR, and Team Genocide in this same city. Now, Los Leones, the biggest city in Miramar, it's gonna take a bit of time before these teams finally realize they're within spitting distance of each other. But once they do, that's when the real action begins. As we see on the side screen, 0 Degree are spread out quite a bit. And Power, it seems like from Power, Mogambo will be the first point of contact. Pan Singh in a vehicle is gonna be loud and announcing his position up into the world. He might just be the spearhead of his team who will make first contact with Mogambo as they all move in towards the same warehouse. Yep. And the only way, the only perfect way actually to make up for it is by completely eliminating 0 Degrees, who are also one of the strongest teams in the mix. So if they can get rid of 0 Degrees right off the start, it seems like they're going to have themselves a pretty good time because they will have a lot of points and a major contender will now be out of the game. Meanwhile, I think 0 Degrees are heading towards the edges of Los Leones. They seem to be satisfied with the amount of loot they have, and they want to set up a gatekeeper approach where they just stop every other team from either leaving the city or, in this case, entering the city, because Los Leones is smack in the center. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of teams go for early rotations and try to enter this place right now. The storm, it's a... Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of betting the money, I would bet my money on Atanki. He has 2 med kits, which are incredibly rare to find, and pretty good control over the vehicles as well. I think, so here's the thing that I've noticed in all the games that I've casted, especially in maps like Miramar, having control of vehicles is equally important, because once the circle does screw you over, you can't just go on foot. You need to have control of those vehicles, especially in open spaces. You need to build fortresses out of them. And that's why you will see a lot of teams take this approach of having all 4 players in different vehicles. And they have 4 vehicles. Even though you can't fight while you're in there, you might just be able to walk away from those fights and get yourself a little bit of advantage towards the later end of the game.
We do apologize. I just had a little mic skerfuffle and none of my audio was getting picked up, and it's back again. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah, speaking of which, UMEXRXN, I mean, the guys we have on screen right now, they haven't had the greatest couple of games. They've been consistently coming in the bottom 10 category. Like, what's happening with them?
Well, UMEXRXN is one of the most prestigious organizations in the country. If you didn't know that UMEXRXN already have a Dota 2 and a CSGO roster as well, you do now. And now that they venture into PUBG Mobile, they are enabling few more youngsters to show off their talents by supporting them, which is really beneficial for the esports scene in the country as a whole. And if you just look at the bottom screen, John and Orange Rock, they have a nice little collection of red cars right there. It seems like they've parked them in a very aesthetic way as well, almost like they're salesmen and trying to sell those cars. I mean, the way they parked, it was so beautiful. It was perfect parking. I mean, a lot of people can learn from it.
Popping? sorry. I'm just messing with you, Chris.
I know. You do that quite often.
Especially on
Way
live
too often for my
streams.
comfort.
All right, we've got Team Tamil.
We have history of those.
We've got Team Tamil here and Team Genocide. Still haven't met each other in a proper firefight. Come on, guys, entertain us. What is this?
I think the entertainment's about to start now. DD threw that smoke, and that's going to be a dead giveaway about his position. But seems like Team Tamil don't want to engage just yet, as they're still in their cars and hunting for the guy who threw that smoke. They won't be finding him anytime, but they do find a couple of compounds that they can take care of. Obviously, towards the southern end of Miramar, the grass becomes more prominent, and it's not that big of a desert. So there's more cover over here towards this side of the map as there is in the northern parts. And since the circle is also moving south, I guess the teams don't have to be that worried about getting caught in the open with nowhere to hide. I guess that's a little bit of relief.
Well, getting caught in the open in Miramar is never a good thing as well, because this is Sniper Central right here. And this is a map where, unfortunately, we do not have the Winchester 8x PUBG PC thing going on. But at least in PUBG Mobile, you know, the snipers tend to rule Miramar, and Daljit is one of those snipers from Orange Rock that I would not want to mess with in Miramar. We did see him, in fact, perform quite beautifully in the PUBG Mobile All-Stars. Do you remember that?
Of course I do. How can you forget something like that? That guy was an absolute beast. And speaking of beast moments, did we just witness a drive-by?
Yeah, I think we did.
Players of Team 9 just drove past Team Insane, and Insane did not act at all. They did not even fire a single shot. They just let him pass. But while I say that, Mavi has clear line of sight onto Duke, and even though he's firing right now, he probably won't be able to connect any shots, but that doesn't really matter.
Mavi is Mavi, you know. Mavi, actually, I have to say, viewing, spectating, observing Mavi has been a treat these last couple of games.
Yes,
We've got an MK14, of course, in the drop zone, in the airdrop, and hopefully, like, some lucky team will get their hands on it. But yeah, I gotta say, Mavi is one of those players that I'm really enjoying watching. I'm not too familiar with his gameplay, to be frank, but in the last couple of matches, it's very clear. It's clear as day that he's one of those players that you definitely want to learn something from if you are eyeing those PMCO standings.
Speaking of eyeing the PMCO standings, keep your eyes on the circle as it shrinks towards the southwestern part. Puerto Rico, the only city, it's not even a city, it's like one very small village with a dockyard. It's the only thing in place. Luckily, this part of the map does have a lot of grass and a lot of trees as well, so you can play around it. And it also has the cliffs of the eastern side of Los Leones in the zone, so you can play around those as well. A lot of teams might just enter Los Leones and then try to, you know, make their way into the circle from there.
Sure.
And that's going to be a safe approach.
Right.
But speaking of safe, it's not something that Revenge are looking into, as they might just walk into Team Orange Rock, who have the high ground advantage on top of them.
Finally we get to actually see some action. We get to see Daljit already getting that spray down on Akshay. What a beautiful spray down with his red dot Scarrel situation going. He's also managed to get another knock. Anto trying to get into the fight, and Daljit knocking, finishing grade. Anto finishing Akshay. Oh my god, these observers are faster than I am. We've got Daljit trying to get better position on that last two players. Trilok getting sprayed down. Oh, it's not looking good for him as he jumps out, and Trilok is thirsted. Sonic, where are you, Sonic? As Sonic manages to skip away. We now are looking at 0 Degree entering the fray. Let's see how this pans out for them. We've got so many teams next to each other. Oh, I'm so sorry. Crips, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, Orange Rock are about to face 0 Degrees. This is going to be a clash of the titans as the two top teams of the tournament are about to have a go at each other. Sonic, the last remaining member of Team Revenge, does manage to get one kill, but how much can he possibly do? He has to play for placement points over here. But if you look at the positions of Orange Rock, they are so far spread apart. Mavi is on a completely different hill, far away from his team, who have knocked one player down.
Oh, this is not looking good for Sonic.
And he desperately needs to get to cover. He finally finds a little dark spot where he should be able to heal up, but he's cornered over here. And there are other players also around him.
Okay, looks like Sonic is trying to get some kills in. He's not in a very good position. And Pansing knocking Daljit from Orange Rock. Oh my god. Anto finishing off Sonic. That's the end of Revenge Esports. We've got Surya knocking John, and then JSL in the midst, getting a knock on a 7Cs player whose name I missed. Sorry. We've got 0 Degree, all 4 people right here, trying to get an angle on Orange Rock. They did manage to get Daljit, I believe, and it's just Mavi and Anto left. This is not a good loss for Orange Rock.
Definitely not. At one point, I thought Orange Rock will have an advantage because they were spread apart on 2 different hills, which means the valley in between those two, which is the only slope which is not that steep where you can drive. That's the only entrance towards those little 2 hills, and they have been both covered, which means they should have had the advantage. But because of spreading apart, the same thing that should have given them the advantage ends up being the thing that does not work out for them.
We got the
They're
circle.
booming the
Oh, we just missed it, unfortunately. Let's try to actually talk about the circle when our beautiful observers share us the circle. And here we go. Another gift from the PUBG gods, an MK14 and a couple of level 3 vests. JSL Glaive bites the dust, and the play zone takes out Team ORB member Tsunami. It is Mavi and Anto versus the entire squad, and shots are being fired. Mavi trying to get an angle on the 0 degree players, Marcos Gaming. Let's see what Mavi does here. Come on, Mavi. We believe in you, Mavi. And the dude takes a chunk of health off, and oh my god, Mavi almost knocks him. The dude sort of surviving by the 1 HP that he was clinging onto. And now we have Team CELTZ. We have Team CELTZ and TeamELVES on the team here, on the screen here. And let's hope that we see some action from here as well.
Speaking of action, this is the only close quarter fights that we have seen so far. Everything else was just a flurry of sniper fights with multiple teams trying to get angles on each other and hoping that they get away with getting shot. CELTZ, they also have sight on Team FULLPWR, and Elves, they finally decide to strike. Red getting peppered with bullets, and Poto also trying to land a couple. But CELTZ do not want to take any part of this. They are just backing away from this fight. And they blew up a car. That means one of the players is on foot. He needs to get picked up by MJ, who is desperately low on health. Their car also about to blow up. That means their escape routes are getting shut down one by one.
What did the cars ever do to you guys, man? Come on. Leave the cars alone. We've got TeamELVES and Team CELTZ trying to square off with each other, and Team well, God damn it. What are their names again, Crips? TGE?
Genocide?
Genocide. There we go. There we go. We've got Team Genocide and Team RIP and Team UMAMBA all within shooting distance of each other. I don't know. I'm not really sure what Noob's trying to do here, as he slowly makes his way towards UMAMBA. And meanwhile, we have Team Tamil.
I think Team Tamil are the only ones who have some sort of a safe spot, and they're just observing all the fights before they decide to engage in the ones they actually need to get into. Meanwhile, speaking of getting into fights, Genocide are really far spread apart. They can surround their opponents from every direction, but CELTZ need to be careful because they might have just bitten off more than they could chew. They're in the middle of so many teams. And now finally we have the circle. It seems like we won't be repeating the mistake and talk about it for once.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good circle. Everybody's in there in the safe zone. And the circle just about screwed everybody except for Team 18 Initiative and Team Insane. Looks like 0 degree is smart. Marcos Gaming pushing into the safe zone. The dude. And unfortunately, Pan Singh and not able to find the other guy's name. Just chilling back. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do here. I guess they're trying to finish Orange Rock?
Well, I'm not sure about Orange Rock, but we did see 2 different fights between 3 teams each. So on one end, we have CELTZ, Elves, and Team Tamil, who just decide to engage. Atanki spotted Matt going ahead in his car, but couldn't connect the bullets. Matt is leaving Avi behind so that he can act as bait. And while I say that, Ash Gamer runs out of bullets, he will be knocked out by a score. I forgot his name. Rapsor? That's how you pronounce it? These are really weird to pronounce.
Will you guys pick easy names for us to cast over, please? Alright, we've got Team Genocide, Noob, unfortunately last man standing, and Team L still pretty much in the fight, all 4 players. Team CELTZ also rotating, taking the dangerous blue zone and rotating out. And there we go. Let's look at Marcos Gaming. All 4 alive. They're pushing Team Tamil. They spray down Striker. They thirst him. They're like not letting Team Tamil get out of this situation. It's up to Carry OP to bring Team Tamil back into the fray. We've got Rip Squad and UMAMBA also in a fight with each other. Somebody needs to help Destro. Oh, nope, never mind. Rip Squad nades Destro. And this is not looking good for Rahul as he gets knocked by a vehicle and then gets thirsted by Bhimsha, sorry. We're just butchering all your names left, right, and center. We're so sorry. Crips.
I mean, at least that's better than these teams butchering each other as they desperately try to cling for dear life. UMEXRXN have one little cliff that they can take cover of, but they have Rip Squad on one side and 0 Degree on the other. Luckily for them, 0 Degree is already busy engaging other teams, so they can continue focusing on Rip Squad, who are outside the play zone, and they need they need to cover the distance, which is quite long.
They need to go the distance, Michael Bolton. The Hercules theme song. Never mind. You're too old. You're too young to get that.
References which I don't understand, but what I do understand for sure over here is that Insane have to take care of Team IE right the hell now. Otherwise, they will be left in a very awkward situation. At the southern edge of the circle has multiple teams fighting for cover. Elves are surprisingly in the safe because UMEXRXN and Team Tamilas are the ones who are fighting each other now. 0 Degree also trying to get a piece of the action. They're trying to get kills as much as they can, but they don't have to worry about much right now. The circle shifts and AIM is the one who has a lot of advantage. But as soon as I say that, Insane knocks Aditya out. The smokes should be enough to allow him to revive his teammates, but how long can he stay in there? Only 30 seconds left, and they have a long distance to cover. All the teams need to move right now.
Yeah, and it looks like TeamELVES is just chilling outside the circle and they're just healing up. Team 18 Initiative really needs to do something about their position, and I really appreciate how Marcos Gaming 0 Degree is just positioning themselves to the circle. They only have to worry about a lone Tamil Gaming player. Aditya getting a nade on Insane's team legend. Team 18 setting up cover with their vehicles all blown up. All they have to do is pick a couple of angles. What a shot right there. Oh my god. Team 18 Initiative taking the initiative, spraying down Team Insane players left, right and center. And I believe that's Team Insane knocked out of the game.
Yeah, and while all that was happening, AIM also managed to steal a couple of kills. That is so smart. Team AIM is on the complete other end of the circle, which means they don't have to worry about anything, but they still managed to get some kills. Dux, he's trying to land the players from Team IE and of TeamELVES as well. So 0 Degrees, having all 4 of the players alive, have created a little cover for themselves up on the edges of those cliffs. Meanwhile, Elves have Matt once again playing as a flanker who's trying to get as many kills as he can, but he gets knocked out by Pansing. Their only hope is now down. Elves are in a lot of trouble as multiple teams are firing upon them. They have created a little fortress of broken down cars and smokes, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Finally, Fury from Team IE steps into the action as he does manage to get a knock onto one of the 0 Degrees players. So that's gonna allow Elves also to have some time as IE are actually saving them right now, which isn't supposed to happen. This is chaos all over the place.
0 Degree.
One more knock onto 0 Degree. They are taking so much damage. At one point, 0 Degree were the ones who had all 4 players alive, and now they are taking knocks, which is dangerous. Even though they have the high ground, it's not supposed to happen. AIM, engaging in long-distance battles along with Team IE, are not coming out on top as Aditya lands a nice headshot. Manages to knock one more down, and this will allow him to buy some time so that he can get into the play zone. It is coming right behind them, and they need to race against the blue and into the hailstorm of bullets that lies ahead of them. They're using the smokes as cover, but it won't allow them as Fury bites the dust. Elves manage to strike back once again, and they get one more. They finish off Aditya as well. This is haywire. It's going left, right, and center as 0 Degree engage in a 3-way battle along with Team IE and Elves. What is even going on? Who will come out on top? We have no idea because a barrage of smokes are covering a line of sight. Lucifer does manage to get one more from Pansing, but is that all he's going to be able to get? He's prone, and that's going to be the end of it. Team IE just lost one more player. Elves taking one more. What? How did Ip Man manage to do that? Even Ducky comes into the fray. All of a sudden, AIMGAMING are third-partying this fight, and they have plenty of cover as well with those trees. 0 Degrees using the smoke, and it's not gonna matter because AIM have exactly all the information they need to win this fight. Elves are somehow holding on. I'm actually surprised how they managed to stay alive. How is this happening, Rohin?
I have no idea what's happening. It's just been a hail of bullets left, right, and center. I gotta say, 0 Degree is in a very good position. Ipman getting some shots in, really doing some damage to 0 Degree as TeamELVES needs to figure out how to get into the circle and stay alive. I really love the fact that AIM Gaming is making sure that they're using that vehicle as cover as they res Ducky, I believe. Ip Man going for Ducky, and in the smokes we have 0 Degree pushing in. It's going to be an interesting fight right now with TeamELVES and 0 Degree and AIM Gaming trying to get the best of each other. Ip Man just throwing nades willy-nilly. We've got the dude cooking his nade. Hopefully, can he get this grenade kill? The nade flies and unfortunately doesn't get him the knock that he needs. 0 Degree playing very, very smart. It's up to Surya and the dude. Oh, and I just jinxed it. AIM Rocky just knocking out the dude, trying to thirst him. This is not looking good for 0 Degree as they're closer to 3rd place, and Rocky puts him in the dust. Surya trying to heal off, but he does not. He does not. Oh. And 0 Degree is out of the game. It is now AIM Gaming versus TeamELVES. 2v3. Here we go. The position for 1st place. We've not seen both these teams in final circles. Oh, I'm so sorry. We did see AIM Gaming. And now we've got Sniper versus Ip Man. Ip Man going for the wrong rotate and gets knocked. That is horrible. Ducky trying to get the trade. Gets Snippu, but unfortunately, AIM Gaming does not make it. It is TeamELVES 1st place, AIM Gaming 2nd place, and 3rd place goes to 0 Degree. What a match, Crips. Tell me.
What a wonderful performance by Duke. He had 8 kills. That MK14 on the auto fire is a devastating weapon to have in the final few circles. I actually was rooting for 0 Degrees because at one point they had the high ground advantage as well, but then they got caught by the blue zone and they were getting shut down by Elves, who at that point I can safely say were gatekeeping. It's surprising, right? The team in the smack center of the circle is actually gatekeeping the teams at the edges, which isn't supposed to happen because they have to fight in 2 different directions, 2 different teams at once, yet they were... So a lot of kudos to AIM Gaming right there.
Yeah, props to them. They did use their vehicles pretty well, but I gotta say, when it came to the close quarter combat situation, it looks like AIM Gaming just didn't have what it takes, and it was pretty close. That was a very close last circle fight between these 2 teams, but a 3v2, I mean, you gotta give it to the winners right there.
The winners, they did wonderfully well. Both these teams, actually, you have to give them credit because nobody could have predicted what would happen. Elves were not the most likely candidate to win this fight. I'm gonna be honest, because at one point, they had so many players knocked out. At one point, I think I remember only one of their players was still standing. He managed to get 1 res, and then both of them still managed to keep resing their players while fighting the other team at the same time. I have to say, if AIM Gaming won that game, I wouldn't be as impressed as I was with Elves because they were the ones who, despite all odds, came out on top. But I have to give credit to 0 Degrees as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers and pros, welcome back. That is not us on the screen. We are the disembodied voices for the English desk. I am PC Peasants Gaming, or you can call me PCP Venom, or you can call me Roheen. And I've got Crips here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Contrary to the man who just said multiple names, you can just call me Crips. I have only one. And yeah, we're not the voices on the screen. On screen is the beautiful Manu Karki, aka Krat, and Ketan Patel, that's K18 Gaming. And we are now approaching the last stage of the day, the last game of the day. It's gonna be on the snow map, Vikendi. What do you think?
Vikendi is just one of those maps that I absolutely hate to play. And whenever my viewers ask me to play sub games Vikendi, I just avoid it. I really don't know how the pros are going to approach this. I mean, Vikendi is just one of those maps where you need a vehicle, you need a sniper rifle, and you need to be playing position again and again. So let's see what happens. I mean, Orange Rock is doing pretty well so far. Hopefully, let's see the standings. And teams with good snipers are definitely going to be in a great position. What do you think?
Actually, Vikendi is one of my favorite maps. I like it much more than anything else. The only thing that tops Vikendi is Erangel. That's like the classic. Yeah, most of the times in Vikendi, it's the perfect combination of everything. And even though you hate playing it, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy watching it, because this is the one map which guarantees action right from the start all the way to the end. Because most of the times the circle in Vikendi just completely destroy everybody and goes somewhere with half of it in the water. Speaking of circles, let's take a look at which teams are on the top as we enter the last game of the day.
Let's remember, this is match 3. These are match 3 standings, and I think we've been saying it wrong. It's TeamELVES at place 20 points. First place, we've got AIMGAMING. Second place with 14 points, but total kills, TeamELVES 14 kills that last match. Holy shit.
Jesus.
Holy shit. Am I allowed to say that? Marcos Gaming 0 degree, third place. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize on that first place position. Rip Squad 4th, Initiative 5th, Team Insane 6th, Team Tamil 7th, and Umamba 8th. We got some decent kills across. Rip Squad and Marcos Gaming 7 kills each, and Initiative and Team Insane sharing 3 kills each. This was quite a good game for all these teams, and I'm really looking forward to the overall standings that we will see at the end of the day. Let's hope that... sorry, Crips, you were saying?
I mean, I'm going to do a little prediction for the overall standings. I think at this point, TeamELVES might just have overtaken Orange Rock, who got surprisingly very less points in this game. Only 4 points. That's 3 kills in total. That's not the kind of performance we're used to seeing from Orange Rock. But speaking of that, CELTZ this time had a surprisingly bad game, which isn't really, it's uncharacteristic of them.
Yeah.
Umumba somehow managed to get quite a lot of points, and they did get ahead, but ORB Elites and Team Revenge are still at the bottom, which paints a really bleak picture for these two teams. Somehow Genocide was not able to do a lot of damage in this one, even though I expected them to come out on top. FULLPWR once again went the distance, but was fumbling in the mid-game rotations as they got caught in between two teams, and that's not a position you would like to find yourselves in. Rowan?
Yeah, man. It's not been the greatest game for all these teams, and luckily, if some of these teams here do have decent points, and they will be able to hopefully make it up back in Vikendi. I'm really looking for the overall standings. If we could get that, that would be really helpful. But you know, my money is still on Team CELTZ. I think they have performed pretty well. I may be wrong, but they were getting into a lot of kills initially. And maybe they'd have lost that momentum, that steam that they had built up initially. But hopefully in Vikendi, we can see some action from Team CELTZ. Orange Rock, I don't think they have to worry too much. They're still in the, in the top 5 standings, and we can definitely see Team Orange Rock capitalize their positions in the last match.
Yep, I would also like to take this time to talk about Team AIM, who were in the top 3 in Sanhok and in Miramar as well. And as we all know, when it comes to these long-drawn tournaments where there are multiple matches across multiple days, I guess consistency is the one thing that matters a lot. And AIM Gaming, they have that under control. So, as we're about to step into the last map of the day, which teams are you looking forward to seeing today, Rohan? Seeing for this last game on the snow map?
You know, I got a soft corner for Marcos Gaming. I do believe that they kind of screwed that last circle there, but hopefully Marcos Gaming will come back with a couple of kills. 14 kills, right?
Yeah.
That is something. I mean, these guys are performing.
Actually, Elves were the ones.
Sorry,
with
Team
14
Elves
kills.
were 14 kills. Okay, yeah, my bad. Sorry. I meant Team Elves then. And Marcos Gaming was definitely, you know, they were there in this last circle, but I don't know what happened. They just lost their position. And we're back in the game, and the game has started. It is Vikendi, match 4, last match for the day. Orange Rock Anto is just flying ahead. He's like, hey man, I don't need the airplane. I don't need the airplane. I'm good. He's got his own private helicopter. So here we go. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, the game does like to mess with us quite a lot by glitching out at times. I mean, I remember that one glitch at the end of Sanhok where I thought it was Team Revenge who won the game, but then the game showed that it's Team AIM who came out on top. We eventually did find out it was Revenge who won indeed, and my eyes were not deceiving me. But speaking of deceiving people, UMEXRXN are dropping straight down on the pod roster. I actually was expecting many more teams to go over here, but surprisingly, UMEXRXN will be unchallenged in pod roster. FULLPWR taking control of Cosmodrome, which honestly was one of the places I expected many more teams to land. CELTZ safe in Peshkova, Insane taking Trenovo, and a lot of teams are still in the circle, so most of them won't have to rotate. And Rohan, are you seeing this? The circle is actually fair. Most of the times, whenever we see the circle, it's half in the water with very less playroom available. This time, there's quite a lot.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, this is a good circle to begin with, and a land circle is always a good circle. So I'm quite happy with this. At least we'll get to see some firefights, some forest fights. Yeah, and it is a lot of rotation for some of those teams which dropped on the far right side of the map. And already we've got Team AIM Gaming, Team ORB, and Team Initiative already in the same vicinity. Shots are starting to ring out in the distance. Let's see how this plays out. AIM Gaming, a very good team, playing consistently. They're kind of in their groove right now. Do you think they're going to capitalize and actually take these shots? Oh my god, their shots fired. Crips, let's hear that beautiful play-by-play. Here we go.
Here comes the Molotov. Surprisingly, Aditya is under the ladder, so he won't be getting affected by it. And another one, just for good measure. That's cool and all, but I'm concerned about Team 8. That's Team AIM, who have their players very far spread apart. Usually, that would have been a good thing to do if you're in open ground, but spreading out in an urban fight could lead to a disaster. Either way, Aditya is smack in the center of dangerous territory as he's surrounded by multiple people of AIM Gaming. ORB, on the other hand, are relatively close by. So this team will have the advantage of trading with each other as the fight progresses. Tsunami has taken a nice position up on top, and I don't think Muse saw him. And as he tries to kill his teammate, Tsunami will cover him, and Muse will hit the ground. I think they might be able to finish him off too.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Muse right there. And it's not looking good for Team Initiative. Yep, no, I stand corrected. Crucifer has managed to get an... Oh, but Nerf Fairs is not allowing this to happen. As usual, teams pushing in. They're pushing in. They're not going to let this res happen. Team ORB making quick work of Team Initiative. Holy hell. They came, they saw, they conquered. Team ORB losing Ayush and Tsunami in the mix, but they still managed to wipe out Team Initiative, and now AIM Gaming in a very good position. 4v2. Team AIM Gaming is gonna want to take this fight, right, Crips?
Definitely. They know both the players of ORB are inside that house. One little flashbang up on top should be enough to cover them all. But as they make their way up the stairs, this crossfire between ORB can be dangerous. But no, I take my words back. Nerf gets instantly downed. And Ducky eliminates them as if it was no tall task. They make it look so easy.
Ducky watching John Wick 1, 2, and 3 right before he jumped into this game. That was some really good gameplay from Ducky right there. AIM Gaming, I mean, just as I said before, AIM Gaming has been playing consistently well, and if anything, they just showed that they've improved, and this is probably going to be a good game for AIM Gaming. I hope I didn't jinx this for them, but I'm hoping I'm hoping that they'll be able to keep this consistency, though, that raw aim till the end of Vikendi.
Like I promised, Vikendi is one of those maps where you see action right from minute 1. It's hardly been 4 minutes in the game, and 2 teams are already eliminated. That does say something about the level of preparation these teams have done for each other. I'm actually surprised that AIM Gaming were the team that, you know, stayed back and they tried to third party it. Usually they're the ones who go ahead and try to take the fights first. But this time they held their ground and they were rewarded for their patience.
Yeah. And there we go, Anto in the snowmobile. And we have Team Tamil, just driving by. Hopefully we can see a quick Orange Rock Team Tamil fight. But no, TT Spray decides he's not going to take this fight and he just drives off. They might have intel that Orange Rock is here right now, and hopefully we will see some combat. But I gotta say, Mavi, the man of the hour, the man of the day. We saw some interesting plays from Mavi. What do you think, Rips? How has Orange Rock been performing so far?
Well, they started off really well, but I kinda was disappointed about their performance in Miramar, and I was disappointed about that car crash as well. If it was at a higher speed, it would have taken away a lot of HP. But coming back to Orange Rock, so one thing that I would really like to point out about what they did in Miramar is they took control of 2 hills who have the 2 hills that have a really steep slope, and there was only one way to get in between those 2 hills. That's the valley, and they took complete control of it. It should have worked out for them, but because Mavi decided to not engage at the same time as his teammates, maybe there was a lack of communication. That's why Orange Rock, they did not do well in Miramar. Let's see if they learn from their mistakes and do not repeat them in Vikendi. And as I say that, the first circle starts to shrink. A lot of the teams now moving into position. Insane, as we say. That's one good thing about Vikendi. Some of the places you can cross the river right without waiting for any bridges. You can just walk onto the ice. Yes. And some parts of the river you will drown in.
Yeah, it is a very interesting map design. And by the way, a big shout out to all the viewers who are supporting the stream and supporting PUBG Mobile Esports. Thank you so much for watching the English Desk. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. There is a link in the chat. And you can also follow us on Twitter so that you get all the latest news. Don't forget to tweet, retweet, and like us. And also, of course, follow us. And if you do enjoy the stream, if you do enjoy this content, do hit that subscribe button and that like button. That's just the YouTuber in me talking right there.
Yep, that's... I mean, the viewers are the real MVP here. It's because of those guys that this competitive mobile gaming scene has blown up so much in our country. I mean, don't get me wrong, esports in India did exist a long time ago, but because PUBG Mobile entered the scene, it blew up to a whole new level where everyone, and I mean not just the kids, I'm talking elder people, I'm talking old people, everyone now knows what esports in the country is, and I'm really proud of it. So it's not any of the teams, it's not any of the players who are the MVPs, it's you guys, it's the viewers who made all of this possible. So thank you.
TeamELVES Snipu.
Yeah.
I gotta say, is it Snipu or is it Nipu? I think it's Nipu, because yeah, it would be Nipu. So
yeah,
the 14 killer like team. Yeah, I mean, I really wish we had like a list of the names so that we didn't butcher it on live stream. Like seriously, guys, we're so sorry. I know a lot of you will rewatch the stream, you'll rewatch the gameplay, and you'll be like, "What the hell are these clusters talking about? That's not my name." We're so sorry for butchering your names. We really are, but hopefully, as we move forward with the PMCO matches every day, almost every day till the end of this month, you will be having our soothing voices telling you what's what in the PUBG Mobile esports scene in India. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't blah,
I see
blah,
what you did there.
blah, blah, blah. Just,
I see what you did there.
my words.
It's okay. Happens to the best of us.
Yes. Kill
Best
me.
of us, JSL, the team who shined a lot in Sanhok, now are shining once again as they continue to plummet TeamELVES with a lot of bullets. We did not see that action on our screen, but we did see it on the kill feed. They got multiple knocks. And there's a nice M249 up for grabs.
What do you think of
What's
the
your
M249? I think it's a very difficult gun to handle in PUBG Mobile, for sure.
Yeah, but if you do manage to control it, it is insane. I think it's better than the AUG, especially in team fights, because you never have to reload. That's one thing.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
If, God forbid, you are in a car in front of a player with an M249, you can just say your prayers because you are gonna die. Weapons like the DP, the M249, the ones which have a lot of bullets in them, and the LMGs, these can tear the vehicles into shreds. And in a map like Vikendi, where vehicles are really relevant, the M249 is an extremely strong gun to have. Well, while I say that, UMEXRXN up on top of the hill. AIMGAMING are right underneath them, which is great because they won't be spotted from this distance. But I think Destro has just spotted the head of Zeus, and he's using TBP to get a perfect angle onto him. Now he's out in the open. This is the perfect chance for Destro to come out as in the face. But Zeus is heading right
I'm not
to
really
it.
sure what's happening because Destro did have an angle on him, and
Yeah, he did.
it looks like AIMGAMING is now going to be quickly in a fight with UMEXRXN. Other shots are being fired, but not between AIMGAMING. It's Team Insane. UMEXRXN. No, sorry. It was UMEXRXN. I get confused sometimes with the you know, the inclusion of the team names in the mountains.
Oh well, that wouldn't be the first time. It happens all the time. But
Yeah.
that's what the whole game is about, right? Like, we are just the casters. We can see everything that's going on. But imagine if you're in the shoes of UMEXRXN, and you have on one side AIM, and on the other side you have Team Insane. You're going to be really confused as to which team to engage with first. So, luckily, we don't have to, you know, bear the burden that these players are facing. AIMGAMING engaged with Team Insane. The shots don't connect, and Naruto will be able to make it away. But that was a good thing, because now Naruto, he moves away, but he's made Rocky give up his position. Unfortunately, Naruto ran it right into the boot camp of TeamGenocide, and Naruto is a dead man. The anime character, who surprisingly has a lot of plot armor in the actual story, this time will be dying really, really soon.
I spot Otaku in the chat right now. Okay, we see UMEXRXN sort of getting a beautiful nade on Ip Man. Oh my god, that... I want to say Kobe. Rest in peace. But yeah, looks like AIMGAMING and UMEXRXN right now in a fight. Bhishma, if I'm saying his name correctly, trying to get another nade in. Doesn't hit Ip Man. And AIMGAMING needs to now push. Oh, looks like Ip Man just getting shot from another angle. And all those nades have caught the attention of surrounding teams. Team Insane, if I'm not mistaken, is now peppering Ip Man.
I mean, they were at the bottom, and even though they're not in any danger, they're still trying to make things difficult for UMEXRXN and AIM, who are trying to finish each other off. Destro finally decides to take matter into his own hands and check out which team is over there. I think he has more pressing matters to attend to. AIMGAMING going down the mountainside will not be allowed to make an escape as Bhishma finally gets one more. This time it's Ducky who hits the ground. Luckily, he has a teammate right beside him and a building to take cover of, so he's not in imminent danger.
I stand corrected. I mean, AIMGAMING had such a couple of brilliant games, and it looks like they're shitting the bed right now with so many knocks. It looks like they're going to have to heal themselves and get out of there. That's just not a position that they're able to defend. And UMEXRXN keeping the pressure on them with the verticality. You know, Bhishma knows that they're there. He's trying to get an angle. And now we have the map. Take it away, Crips.
Well, we did see before the map popped up, CELTZ was also in the fray. They were trying to land a couple of shots onto Team AIM, but that doesn't really matter for now because AIM is safe. The next circle pops, and surprisingly, it doesn't change much. Most of the teams are still in the circle, so they are all playing in and around Gorka. 7Cs and 0 degrees a bit close to each other. Meanwhile, Orange Rock have a nice hill setup, which gives them 360-degree view. Should allow them to take a look at Team Power as well, who are slowly but surely getting really close to Team 0 degrees. And we're back to the northern edges of Gorka, where AIM, who did win the early fights and eliminated 2 teams, are still having quite a lot of advantages. They have 3 players still alive, and I'm assuming that because they're still in Gorka, they can loot up more. But now they know that CELTZ are approaching them from the other side, and Rox is out in the open. But no, how on earth did Rox manage to knock out Ip Man? He had the angle onto him, but Rox with great reflexes knocks him out first. That's a good engagement for CELTZ, and that's a brilliant start.
And that's why you don't full body peek Ip Man paying. Oh no, CELTZ Rock gets Ducky as Ducky tries to rotate, and they thrust him brutally into the floor. They are not messing around. CELTZ Rock, Team CELTZ is now looking for surrounding areas, trying to find AIM Gaming. Ip Man knocked as well. It is up to Zeus. Where is Zeus? And that is the question. Zeus is far away. He will not be able to make it to his teammate, and it looks like Zeus has taken the decision to leave Ip Man behind as Team CELTZ finishes them off. Now it's about Zeus playing position here. And that's kind of the problem, right, Crips? When your entire team gets wiped out, he just pops a couple of painkillers to deal with the pain of losing his entire team. Sad reacts only in the chat, boys.
I don't think AIM Gaming should be that sad. They got plenty of points right at the start of the game, which is not that disappointing, and they still have a chance of getting more because Zeus is still in here. Now, CELTZ are desperately hunting for Zeus. They know that one of the players is still alive. So, even though they were first engaging with UMEXRXN first, AIM decided to just fall back into the city of Gorka, where they would have been safe if CELTZ did not push. And UMEXRXN is now looking on towards the city of Gorka as well. So, if somehow Zeus is able to stay hidden and get UMEXRXN and CELTZ to fight each other, that's going to be the best case scenario for that man.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with you right there. Team CELTZ, as always, has been playing kind of decently. I mean, they've had a good couple of games. They've not been able to cultivate their initial momentum into like decent kills later on, but hopefully Vikendi would be a change of pace for them. And Zeus is just third person peeking them. He's just lying low as Team CELTZ, like a bunch of beagles, hint hint, I have a beagle at home. A bunch of beagles try to sniff out Zeus from this little location here. Oh, did CELTZ see some movement? I think he did.
Yes, they did. They definitely did. They've snipped out UMEXRXN. But let's see if they are only satisfied with sniffing or they actually want to bite and bark them out.
Did you say sniffing? You said sniffing. Ha.
What's wrong with sniffing?
I just love that word. That's it.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's just one of it's just one of those things that when you have a lot of dogs and they're always sniffing, it's just, you know, never mind. Moving on. Professional casting right here. All right, let's look at the circle here. We've got 7Cs on north, FULLPWR also in the north, and Orange Rock also kind of north center. JSL knocking Sonic in the kill feed. We heard the shots in the distance, and let's see what JSL's up to. JSL is all 4 people alive and well to do. We've only lost 2 teams so far. 16 teams, remember, viewers. It's 14 teams left. Surya OP, we got a couple of nice kills from JSL in the previous matches. I believe it was Sanhok, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts on JSL so far? As bullets fly.
What I think about them in this game is
very similar to what I thought about them in Sanhok as well. So they're on the southern edge of Goraka, across the frozen river, which means they can stay holed up there forever and ever, and no team will ever come close to them. If any team decides to fight them, that's going to be a clear suicide. So for that matter, GSL have a good position, which is great. It's something that they did in Sanhok as well. If you remember,
Right.
in Sanhok, Power Gaming were the ones who had the high ground. But JSL, they stood behind a rock and they managed to individually make Power Gaming make mistakes and turned a 2 versus 4 fight into 4 separate 2v1 fights, which give them the advantage of
Okay, we've got 7Cs throwing a molly at Orange Rock. Final boss, and the shots are being fired. Final boss spraying down, not getting much as John takes a big chunk of health. 7Cs setting a position, trying to push in. Daljit watching the circle. Oh, he sees 7Cs 420 and he gets a knock. Unfortunately, our feed is a little damaged right now. We will try to figure this out. Back to you.
Well, Final Boss and Viru standing outside the house now know that they cannot enter the house without throwing in a bunch of utility. Daljit and John have a really good crossfire setup where they should be able to cover each other. If they do realize that John is on the bottom floor, they should be able to take engagements. But Mavi engages first. He gets a knock onto Zigsaw and he will finish him off as well. It's Anto. They tag team each other and they get one more 7Cs member out of the picture. All 4 players of Orange Rock still alive. Meanwhile, 7Cs keep losing players. Viru knows exactly where Mavi is, but he can't do much about it. He doesn't have the cover to go ahead to the other side of the house. Daljit and John staying at the edges of this house know exactly where 7Cs are, and they can jump out at any time to finish them off, but they do manage to get the knock onto Viru. It's just 1 man left, and the smoke will not save Viru whatsoever. Down to 1. And what can Final Boss possibly do? Will he actually transition and become the final boss of the video game and pull off this 4 versus 1? I don't really think so. I guess the best case scenario that he can do at this point is somehow get away, but I don't think Orange Rock will allow him to do so. They've engaged with him. They do quite a lot of damage as well, and he has some time to heal himself before Orange Rock finally collapses upon him.
This was quite a wipe. Oh, that nade! And he's done. He's done. Orange Rock making quick work of 7Cs. And that's how you do it. And that's how you don't do it. Orange Rock proving time and again that they are not a team to be trifled with. We do apologize for the display issues that we were just having. Technicians have managed to fix it. And we're back on schedule. What did I miss, Crips?
So JSL finally decided to get out of their holes and they are now engaging in the city of Goraka. CELTZ now taking fights with Rip Squad. They do manage to get a couple of knocks, but CELTZ continue to pepper them down. Rip Squad, Rapsaw, the man who I failed to pronounce the name previously, does hit one back, but he will be instantly traded by Atanki. Meanwhile, while all that is happening, JSL enter the fray and now they're trying to third party onto Rip Squad. This is devastating. JSL will be able to completely finish off Rip Squad, and once again, they win because of amazing positions. But what am I seeing? CELTZ lost quite a lot of players, and now they are getting surrounded by JSL. While I say that, Bhishma comes into the fray and he gets the knock onto Fiyaz. He has just managed to save CELTZ for some time by taking the fights with JSL right now. And as all of the teammates of JSL converge upon that one rock, the smoke will start to dissipate anytime soon. And JSL, Robin throws in another one to keep them out of the line of sight of the prying eyes of their enemies. They just bought themselves a little more time, but they are surrounded by Team Raven TT on the left side and Yumama on top. Surprisingly, Yumama are playing central, even though the circle is super small and there's just one hill in the compound.
Yeah, I think Yumama has a great position right now, and you know, oh my God, Bhishma not messing it around, taking Glaive out of the picture here. This is not looking good for JSL, as they really need to count their blessings that they still got 2 players alive, and they get a nade on CELTZ Rock. Mavi knocking power players left, right, and center. Look at that spray down. Even Team Genocide. Oh my God, that glitch, that car glitch. Team Genocide just losing one of their vehicles to the beautiful car glitch that we all face time and again. And Team Insane also spread out. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Umamba in a very good position. Team Genocide moving in to the circle, arming themselves with smokes as they get sprayed down, and the camera just shifted, and we've got CELTZ also dealing with AIM? Zeus? Do they know he's there, or they're just smoking themselves in? Oh, no.
Wait,
no,
what? Zeus is still alive.
Zeus is still alive. I think you just jinxed it for him.
Oh no, that's gonna be unfortunate. But Mavi is on absolute fire. He's getting so many kills. He got 3 knocks onto Team Power. Now he does knock 1 more player from some other team. CELTZ realized that they're lucky, that their days are numbered, and they just have to just back away. Raven TT take the engagement, and you must step into the fray as they manage to catch Robin God in transition. While I say that, Tempest from Insane takes a knock. That's surprising. I thought Insane was very far away from the action.
And Bhishma thirsting left, right, and center. That is Team Tamil, unfortunately, almost out of the picture. Team Genocide also finishing off Insane. 1 player left for Insane as Team Genocide tries to literally commit genocide. Haha, that's a joke. Team CELTZ pushing forward, falling back. Not really sure what MJ is trying to do there. The nades are being thrown, and these players are just trying to get an angle. Kiki with the position with the G36 on Team Genocide, giving them pain and suffering all the way from the top of his vantage point. This is looking very good for you, Mamba. Crips, back to you.
It's looking even better for Bhishma because he's already on his 5th kill of the game. That's gonna be massive from him. CELTZ once again strike, and this time they take engagement to Raven, who were not at all ready for them. Bhishma continues to get so many kills. He's on his 6th one already.
Bhishma.
And he gets 1 more onto Manti. A double kill. Are you actually kidding me? Bhishma is on fire.
Bhishma.
How is he doing this? He's
Everybody
away from his team.
Everybody spam Bhishma in chat.
Yes, please do. Please do.
I
We
got
need to see more action from this man.
you, Mamba, back in the game. They've had a tough couple of games, but they are showing that if they have the position, if they have the loot, they can definitely cultivate that into a couple of kills. Their body count is rising. Orange Rock on the far left, not really pushing in as much as they should. Slowly rotating in, and then we have 0 Degree at the edge of the circle. We've got Orange Rock, Mavi, possibly having an angle on Surya. Surya needs to do something. They're not in a very good position right now, and of course we have CELTZ also edging into the smokes that they've placed, trying to set up their push into the last circle as well. We've got Mamba comfortable in a position where they really don't have to worry about too much, and CELTZ pushing in with his car. We have to worry about Mr. Spray as, yes, Team Tamil sprays and they destroy him with the car. Oh my god.
That's
Team Tamil
devastating.
going away in a fiery wreck. That is just sad. But Ash Gamer exploding Mavi. Oh my god, Orange Rock is now in trouble. Meanwhile, CELTZ pushing, finishing off Surya. That's about it. He's done for. It's not looking good for Team JSL.
Whoa.
JSL! Oh my god, Robin God getting 2 knocks, not letting Team CELTZ push them. It is Fayaz and Robin versus 2 players from Team CELTZ. What is happening?
That's just incredible. I love the approach from Orange Rock. They were trying to send Mavi on a reconnaissance mission to gather information under 0 Degree, but then Mavi fell back. And surprisingly, because of that, 0 Degree Team Marcos are allowed to creep up on the slope, undetected by anybody. And Bhishma, I wanted to say this before, but I just didn't have the chance to. Bhishma is so far away from his team, and he's been playing that the entire damn game. Mumba focus on the northern edge. Meanwhile, Bhishma continues to keep teams coming in from Gorkha. And once again, Bhishma might just be in a great position to take down Team CELTZ and the remaining players of JSL.
And now the circle's moved, and it is towards Team 20, that is Team Genocide, whereas the rest of the teams will have to slowly rotate. JSL not rotate as much as they have to, but it's not looking good for Marcos Gaming on the screen here right now. Marcos Gaming, Surya, they all have to do a long rotate. Even Mamba starting to think about rotating. Destro must have heard Pansing on the far left of the screen right there. And Destro's obviously going to be a little bit suspicious of those telegraphs that Pansing and gang are doing.
Oh, this is brilliant. Instead of going straight towards Umamba, they decided to go straight into Orange Rock. They probably weren't ready for this, but it's a much safer option. The dude decides to re-engage. No, this is bad. He's fighting two teams at once. That shouldn't really be happening. They have a little bit of cover, but the play zone is going to push them in really, really soon.
That was a horrible move, unfortunately, for Marcos Gaming. They lost 2 players in that rotate, and unfortunately, they are at a 2-man disadvantage. Oh, CELTZ sprays down Bhishma, but he gets traded. Bhishma still pretty much in the game. Oh my god. The dude also on fire. Now it is Marcos Gaming versus Orange Rock, and they destroy them. What a beautiful show of prowess, skill, and he dies to the safe zone, the blue zone.
That's just unfortunate. CELTZ somehow are still alive in this game. The team who were most likely to get knocked out are alive and taking golden play, even more players, as he just managed to get 2 knocks consecutively. He's covering up for what Bhishma did the entire game, and now he's stepping up. But they're outside CELTZ. They need to move in quickly. Robin God, he's knocked out in the center of the game. I don't think he's going to be able to get revived by his teammates.
Even Fairs, his other teammates, getting chunked pretty harshly by the blue zone. And it doesn't look like Team CELTZ is he trying to do a heal off here? Is he trying to actually heal off? He's got the first aid, he's got 10 first aids and a med kit, and I guess he's trying to play for position here because there's not much else he can do. Fayaz is also in the blue zone, trying to heal himself. We've got 2 teams healing off in the blues as Ash Gamer manages to get Fayaz as he drops to the play zone. Bhishma manages to train on Ash Gamer. This is looking pretty good for Umamba, as all 4 players looking strong and healthy, and we've got Team Genocide with 3 players just having lost Ash Gamer. Where is our Team 12 player? CELTZ still healing off. He's just hoping that he can maybe sneak into second place and finally dies to the red zone, play zone. My bad. CELTZ coming in third place. Yeah, he did what he could, and he really bought that position for his team. It is a team 4v3 here. Destro peaking too harshly and paying the price for it is up to XDD. XDD, what a beautiful spray on Bhishma, but he gets traded by Goldberg, and Noob trades him in return. Oh my god, Kiki, do you love me? Yes, he does. And GG, well played. That is the match, and it is team, unfortunately, Umamba couldn't convert it. Give it up for Team Genocide, first place. That was insane.
That was way too insane, pun intended. I honestly expected Umamba to come out on top. They had everything in their favor. I loved the way how Bhishma was playing away from his team, setting up as a distraction, and even though his job was just to be the guy who keeps the other teams in check, he was the one who actually ended up getting most of the kills for his team. So kudos to him.
Yeah, it was quite an amazing game for Umamba. Unfortunately, I don't know why they didn't manage to get that conversion at the end. Destro really throwing his life away. That was unnecessary. That was an unnecessary rotate, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think, Crips?
Well, honestly, I don't blame him as much as the rest of the decisions that the other teams made, especially 0 Degree. First of all, they were in so much danger from Mavi, from Orange Rock. They were getting scouted so hard. Orange Rock knew exactly what 0 Degrees was up to.
Also, I need to interrupt you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to PUBG Mobile Esports, follow us on Twitter and Instagram for more amazing games. We're going to be streaming games almost daily till the end of the month. And back to you, Crips. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you probably could have said that later on as well. You get my point. 0 Degrees, they did make some questionable decisions later on. I get what they were thinking. They tried to go around the zone instead of heading straight towards Umamba. They only had information about Umamba's position, so I can understand why they tried to go in. but it allowed Orange Rock to capitalize upon it. And even then, I would like to say that even though Orange Rock were the ones who had the advantage, somehow Team Marco's 0 Degree came out on top. So really, really big kudos to them for winning the aim battles, which they weren't supposed to. And speaking of fights that they weren't supposed to win, how on earth did the Genocide make that comeback? It just wasn't supposed to be. They had Yumumba in a corner. Yumumba had the man advantage as well, but as Yumumba tried to get out of that little compound, I think they got a bit too overconfident at the fact that they had numbers advantage, and that's exactly what allowed Genocide to come back. What do you think?
I don't think it was overconfidence. I mean, I can understand why it would seem that way, but I think Destro was just trying to get like a better angle, and he just got caught out in the open. I'd like to, you know, play devil's advocate here. But yeah, it's just very unfortunate that Yumama played such a good game throughout. And we are back.
And this time we have some more interesting information to share about the games that will be happening throughout the rest of this week. Interesting matchups as tomorrow Group A and I think Group C are facing off. Today it was Group A and B. And for those of you who don't know, there are 4 groups with the top 32 teams of the country fighting it out for 24 spots in the semi-finals of PMCO Club Open.
It's been a great day, first day, and we saw a lot of teams perform really well. We saw a lot of teams not perform as well as they generally do. And we're going to be waiting for the standings very soon as we add up the total points. What's your bet on which team is at first place?
My bet, I think Yumamba might just have come in the top 3 or top 4. On top of that, I think AIMGAMING is going to be leading the charge because they had brilliant positionings in Miramar and in Sanhok. I think Orange Rock is pretty much going to be in the first play, in the top 3, regardless of whichever position they get. But I don't think Orange Rock care much. Orange Rock, if you've seen the performances in the past, is a team that usually starts showing up and they really start turning up the heat in the later stages of the tournament. Which means the very fact that we saw a chicken dinner from them in game number 1 itself is a testament to the fact that these guys can strike whenever they want. Then, obviously, I'm a bit concerned about teams like ORB Elite and 7Cs who haven't really shown up throughout the entire day. I hope the remaining 5 days they can do something, which they haven't been able to do today. They try to do something new in every game, I can see, but I guess they were treating it like scrims, which didn't really work out in their favor.
That's just mean, Crips. We've had a fun, amazing game so far, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying the stream. This is Venom from PC Peasants Gaming, and I do have Crips as well here. Thank you so much for watching the English desk, and we do hope we have entertained you. And we will be waiting for the standings right now. And if you guys want to watch more PUBG Mobile esports, do check out the English desk because we're very nice. We're very nice guys.
Are we?
Yeah,
I'd like to think so.
Of course.
I'd like to think so.
Yes.
Well, speaking of nice guys, we did see some amazing plays from some amazing players. Really nice players. Who do you think stood out for you today? Like any players that ring
I gotta
bells?
say,
do you remember seeing the name very often?
Mavi, Surya. These were 2 names that definitely came up on top. And of course, let's not forget Bhishma. Am I saying his name right?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
I think so.
Bhishma from Umamba. I mean, these 3 players definitely stood out for me as players that were worth watching, and I'm sure all the highlights, all the clips that people are going to put up on the internet are going to be clips of these 3 players. Yeah, Mavi for sure, man. Mavi was on fire today. And let's not forget the dude from Marcos Gaming, that Shack spray down in Sanhok. That was also quite a lot of fun. What do you think?
Honestly, that Shack spray down, I have to take away a little credit from the dude, even though he did really well. I think it was the mistake of the other teams underestimating him, because they thought he's scholar, they thought they can take him on, but they went in raw, and then the dude gave it to them raw because he just completely annihilated them. They underestimated him. They underestimated the power that a player can have when he's holding one particular angle with the AK-47 in close range. And that's how he was able to get that triple kill. On top of that, I would really like to point out the similar playstyles of Mavi and Bhishma, because if you notice, Mavi was playing away from his team as a scout, and let's be honest, scouting is a really dangerous role in PUBG Mobile because you're away from your team with no backup. You can get shut down. But both of them did actually end up doing a lot.
And we have the standings. There we go. We've got match 4 standings. We've got TeamGenocide with 34 points in total, 13 kills. Pretty high up. UMAMA with 9 kills, second place, 23 points. Team CELTZ, a team that I've been rooting for since the first game, almost 11 kills, 21 points. JSL, I'm not really sure what happened there with JSL. They got a little circle screwed, unfortunately. Orange Rock coming in 5th with 11 points. AIMGAMING tying with their points at 11. Marcos Gaming, unfortunately, 9. And Team Tamil with 5 points. What are your thoughts, Crips?
Genocide did the absolute switcheroo. I never would have thought they would come out with the chicken dinner, but Umamba, even though they were on fire, I think they just got a bit ahead of themselves and allowed Genocide to take the lead. CELTZ, on the other hand, they survived much longer than I thought they would, and I'm genuinely surprised. AIMGAMING also had a good turn, but yeah, they kind of lost out in the third fight that they took against the other ones. Coming on to the second page of their standings from teams that have positions from 9 to 16, yeah, pretty much all of them are on the same footing. None of them have more than 5 points. It is
pretty sad. I mean, given that TeamELVES or Elves had 14 kills in the previous match, it's so sad to see that they have 0 kills and they came last, unfortunately. Like, what a way to drop. What happened there?
Yeah, they were one of the first teams to go out. We did see the early fights in Gorka, and we knew that one of these teams is going to go out in a blaze of glory. Unfortunately, well, unfortunately for them, but fortunately for us, we got to see a double dose as we saw 2 teams go out in a ball of fire, as AIMGAMING were the ones who eliminated them right in the start of the game, before the clock even ticked 5 minutes.
Right.
That's when AIMGAMING were up there. And you see, I think AIMGAMING were on the 6th or 7th spot in the standings. Sorry.
Yeah.
To have a little bit of short-term memory loss.
Yeah. We do have some keen viewers who've spotted a point mistake, but it's okay. And this is the overall standings. Oh my god, Orange Rock coming in first place with 53 points, and AIMGAMING tying with them
really
with 53 points. 53 points.
Yeah.
We've got Revenge Esports 51 points. So how does this work when 2 teams have the same amount of points?
I mean, I guess it when 2 teams have the same points, it depends on which one of these teams have a chicken dinner. And Orange Rock, even though they have the chicken dinner, they did not really do it in the last few games, which means they got stagnated. Remember that out of the 53 points that Orange Rock have, 30 of them came in the very first game itself. AIMGAMING, on the other hand, they were consistently in the top 3 in Erangel, in Sanhok, and in Miramar, and that's how they are still up there on 2nd spot without any chicken dinner. Revenge Esports, great start to the tournament, but they did fall off towards the other few maps, Sanhok. No, actually, not in Sanhok. They absolutely annihilated everyone in Sanhok. That's when they won the chicken dinner. They didn't really have a good start in Vikendi. And then we have the second page where the teams are pretty far... They're not pretty far apart. I mean, CELTZ and Marcos, we did see that they both had amazing performances throughout Vikendi, but they did not really do well to end up in the top 8. That's a bit concerning, Rohin, don't you think?
Yeah, I think Team CELTZ and Marcos Gaming are going to go back home and they're going to do some homework. They're going to review the way they perform. Team CELTZ definitely...
7Cs Esports, the team that Rohin was actively supporting a lot, that really did not get any momentum at all. They're still at 21 points. I'm actually surprised they managed to do that too, but they do have 10 kills, which is something. Although the team that really deserves all the credit is UMEXRXN, because they had such a massive comeback. At one point, UMEXRXN had less points than 7Cs Esports and ORB Elites. Now look at them. They are on the first page, and ORB Elites is still at the bottom. Keep in mind that ORB Elites, which was one of the top 5, not the top 5, I think they were in the top 8 of PUBG Mobile All-Stars, which took place a couple of months ago, but now they're at the bottom. That's definitely concerning.
Right. And we do stand corrected. It is when there's a situation where we have 2 teams with the same total points, then the team with more kills get the better position. So I believe somebody in chat just told us. So
but even though they had the same points, it was the team with the chicken dinner that was on top.
Yeah, so the jury's out on that.
Jury's out on that.
But that's alright. I hope you guys enjoyed this perfect day of PUBG Mobile. We have a couple more days. When I say a couple more days, we have, 2 more weeks of the PMCO to go. And you got Crips and I sitting here casting for you guys, and we're more than happy to get your feedback. So do tweet at us or DM us, slide into our DMs on Instagram. Yeah, man. Like I'm really impressed with Orange Rock. I think they've played consistently well, and they deserve the position that they have. But yeah, as I was saying, Team CELTZ and Marcos Gaming, I was kind of rooting for them. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And hopefully, the teams that came in the second page will go home, do their homework, and figure out a way to come back in future days.
Oh, that was it on day 1. All the teams know what they need to do in order to get back into this tournament, as we are about to wrap up the day. So don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to get more quality esports tournament content. And don't forget to follow us on our Instagrams and our Twitters and whatever. My name is Crips, and joining me today was PC Peasant, or Venom, or Rohin, whatever you choose to call him. He has 3 beautiful names, so go ahead and take your pick.